What is up and what's going on, fellow Pantheon streamers? We appreciate every single one of you guys being here with us. We're late, but that's typical. Sorry, we're going to tighten that up as well. But we appreciate every single one of you guys being here.
Nah, bro, I love talking to you guys when no cameras on and we're just chatting about nothingness. Politics, man.
Yeah. Marcus, how have you been since last Thursday?
Been good, man. Doing all right. Cannot complain. Still up.
He doesn't care. He asked you that question, took off the headphones. He said, I don't care.
It's
But
for the people.
I'll answer the question. So, Darius, how I'm doing? I've been doing pretty okay, Darius. Thanks for asking. It's been a hectic day. I have been running all over the city. Everyone, if you want to do something like purchase a book or something, call the stores, ask if they have something in stock before you make a fool of yourself of traveling all the way across the city to obtain something and not being able to get it. But alas, I was successful in my hunt for the Children of Blood and Bone by Tome Adeyemi. Shout out to Tome Adeyemi for creating this young adult fantasy novel. If I'm going to talk about it, which we're about to do today, I'm going to be talking all about it. And what's behind it? DeMar. I'm glad
DeMar DeRozan.
Y'all didn't deserve him either. This was a cover buy. This was a cover purchase. I saw him advertising it on TV 3-4 months ago, and I was like at the bookstore. I don't read books. I read graphic novels and stuff like that, but I don't read books. I had to go and cop it. Thanks for asking, Darius.
Yes, I'm glad that you had a great time since we saw you last as well, and got a great book. I think that's going to be a topic for today.
Yeah, I'm very interested in what's going on there. I haven't heard a synopsis, so I'm going into it completely blind, but very interested to talk about it.
You got 2 years. Did you hear what Dre Mack said on his stream? He said, I'm pledging. I will purchase 20 movie tickets to that. You guys better keep me to it.
20 movie tickets? All right, yeah. Shit. You said 2 years from now, them things going to be about $22 a piece by then. Like, make sure y'all, like he said, hold him to it. But nah, that's dope. There's a lot of potential for that movie because a lot of star power.
Speaking of star power, Star Wars. Yeah. Darius, what'd you say?
Before we segue into Star Wars, I did want to say this just quickly, since we mentioned star power. It's not a topic, and I don't have a link or anything to dive deep into this. I just wanted to say the Odyssey, that one's going to be great. I love Greek mythology as it is. The I don't think we've had a film of the Odyssey since the one Vanessa Williams was in, and like, what was that? Like something in the 90s. It's old. But this cast, that's a great cast. That is a very good cast. You've got a very strong cast there. They just added somebody else to that cast. I can't remember who it was.
Lupita?
Lupita was already in there, but they just added somebody else. I don't remember exactly who it was. But they got a good cast over there so far. And Tom Holland is leading, playing Odysseus. At first, I was like, "Oh, that's I didn't expect it," but that's some big shoes to fill. That is a lot. Is it
Robert Pattinson in the movie?
I think it was Pattinson that they added. It was Pattinson that they added.
I thought he was Odysseus. That in my mind, he was Odysseus.
I thought Matt Damon was. I was looking at Matt Damon as Odysseus.
I definitely wasn't thinking Tom Holland. Also, is this going to be one movie? Like the entire saga is going to be one film? It's going to be like a 4-hour movie if they do it right.
Yeah. Well, it's with it being Nolan. Yeah,
it's going to be long as shit.
Yeah, it's going to be long.
Be so long.
It's going to
like
be
for
long.
those
I'm looking forward to it.
Read it, obviously, like Darius and I have. You know how long of a saga that is, and it spans a man's entire adult life. So,
it was John Bernthal they added. Yes. Thank you, Liam. It's gonna be great. It's gonna be good. If you, like I said, if you don't know that story, if you want to get caught up on it, you can watch the original movie with Vanessa Williams, or you can read the book itself, which is phenomenal. Great.
I wonder how
great.
practical they're actually going to get with it. Like, are they going to like try to make the quote unquote Cyclops more a practical recreation of what somebody would have thought a Cyclops would have been back then, or is going to be actual like
Right.
10-foot tall, one gouging eye?
I hope that's the way they do it. I hope it's the 10-foot tall, one gouging eye, typical Greek mythology, Cyclops. So I hope they do it that way. And but on Tom, I will say one thing everybody's been giving to him to his credit is the movie he did when he was younger. It was that movie where the island got flat. I forget the name of the movie. I've seen it. He is phenomenal in the film. When it comes to drama, I don't know if you've seen the film where everybody gets drowned and washed away, and he's separated from his family. Oh, you should check that film out. I'm sure somebody in the comments knows the name of it, but Tom is phenomenal in that. That was my introduction to him. He's pretty young in it, but yeah. Anyway, just wanted to Odyssey, check it out. Great, looks good so far.
When you mentioned Robert Pattinson, it made me think about the posters I saw earlier today that were coming out for his movie. And I've been doing a lot of poster criticisms of the Sam Wilson movie and how like they'll show his face, but he's got the mask on it, goggles all over it. There's some bright light shining on him, or he's in the shade and it masks his darkness, or he's far away from the camera. And you don't really get that for this Caucasian actor in this movie. And I'm just trying to show you the difference between posters when it's like someone that the studio is proud of having and having his face all over the place, and then when it's not. That is 9 posters for Mickey 17 Robert Pattinson.
Yeah. And the advertisement on that's been pretty interesting too.
And then another thing to add is I got DM'd now. Apparently Josh from Dead and Nerds has a video or a clip from his live stream talking about recasting T'Challa, and we won't be happy with it.
I can give you the synopsis. We can definitely watch it. I'm definitely going to go over it also in one of my streams I'm doing because it's a segment I'm going to go on. But the synopsis is what I've been saying, and it's the thing that nobody really wants to hear. And if we want to go ahead and make T'Challa a topic, we definitely can, so we can get all 3 of our opinions. Well, I'll give it the quick synopsis here. It's just the thing that I've been saying that unfortunately, Jeff is not he's not like us. He's not the nerd that we are. He's even said that he's not the nerd like that. So he says, when you talk variants, multiverse, that shit puts him to sleep. So, this is stuff he said on the John Rocha show. So anyway, just that wires were crossed, and what Jeff may have said, what Jeff heard necessarily may not have been wrong, but it's necessarily a lot of people are still thinking that it's just not that they're not going that route, and that it is going to be the kid, and that Charles Murphy has now chimed in on it. So it's
yes.
If all of this is coming off of the strength, because I know Josh is very tied in with My Time to Shine Hello. If you have been paying attention to what's been coming off of that page over the last couple of weeks, I really don't know how you could put that much stock into what's coming out of that. You know what I mean? Like,
I always say that.
It's given. Remember, like, this was like maybe like 2020, 2021, when Henry Cavill was supposed to join the MCU, and what's the chick who did Furiosa? She was supposed to be Invisible Woman, and it was just like this list, this blockbuster list. Oh, the MCU's coming back. They're back in full force, and it's like none of that. John Boyega is gonna. None of that. None of it happened, right? And so like I'm seeing similar swings in the middle of her weighing into the recast T'Challa news. I'm seeing other news that just doesn't either feels like a troll, which feels like almost they're making fun of us, or it feels like just blatantly false information. Marvel is looking for a light-skinned Black actor. If they do that, then they're attempting to tank the entire franchise. If that's what's actually happening. Also, if I'm to believe My Time to Shine Hello, then not only are they looking to age up the actor from T'Challa 2, but then that kid is going to be a light-skinned person. So nobody watched the first movie?
Yeah.
No one watched the first movie? Is young Noel, is he light-skinned? Can he grow up to be Aaron Pierre?
One of the things that
she's saying, if I'm to believe every word out of her mouth, doesn't make sense.
Oh no, I completely agree with you. That's why, I don't know if you guys remember the last time we even talked about the first time we talked about Jeff and my times two scoops. I said, first off, my time is bullshit. Like I the shit that she says, she joins in the conversation whenever she needs engagement, because that Marvel's looking for light skinned actors. That was in the middle of nowhere, out of
That
nowhere.
felt
Just
like a troll. It felt
yeah, I'm
like I
telling you,
want to piss
yes, I'm
y'all
telling you.
off. I want to piss y'all off.
Exactly. And because she's very much aware of the recast movement. That's why when Jeff said what he said, and it got people excited. Because if you go back and you look at any of because I did, you can type T'Challa in on my time's search history, or her search history, and pull up everything she said about T'Challa. She has not been pro T'Challa. So seeing that everybody's happy about T'Challa and things like that, of course, let me shit on y'all real quick. Oh, nope, it's the kid. Don't get your hopes up. And then out of nowhere, they're looking for light skinned people. Then out of nowhere, now you're joining the Storm conversation. So I don't take
right. So the chick from the Bear is going to play Storm. Like, get on.
Yeah.
Like, if they take these type of moves, that is the type of stuff that's going to incite anger, right? And so that's what
she's
seems
trying
like
to do.
she's more into, more so than delivering actual scoops. So again, if that's where Josh is dragging this information, it doesn't seem like he has the closest relationship with Jeff Snyder. He does have somewhat of a relationship with My Shine, because he backs her reputation for some reason or another. She's got a lot of stuff right. Well, my guy, come on.
I mean, it depends on the live stream. Obviously Josh streams every day, so you'd be cataloging through different streams. But there are streams from the past that I distinctly remember Josh saying, I'm glad all these scoopers, like, we need to get rid of the scoopers. Like, I want to go back to knowing when things we didn't know things, and my time is bull. So,
but now he's talking to her personally. When I'm watching this stuff now, he's like, well, I got on the phone and talked to her. She told me. Well, what if she's wrong? Or what if she's just feeding you bullshit? You know what I mean? Like,
Marcus, he got on the phone and talked to her. Does he ever say he heard her voice?
I could have sworn I heard this man said that he communicated with her. Maybe talking is my word and not his. But he definitely he converses.
So he says, I mean, I believe him. I'm sure he probably does. I mean, I don't know the relationship between him and My Time, but
yeah, I don't doubt that at all. He's got a big enough platform for him to attract people like that. It's just, do you believe in the source?
Right.
I believe My Time is a tool for Marvel executives to get Kevin Feige, his damn self, could be My Time, logging in and having some fun, throwing out ideas. What's the feedback here about light skin, dark skin? Okay, because I remember seeing the Aaron Pierce stuff when James did it. So, I guess black isn't black. It's there's a little there's some nuance in here. And he goes, okay, well, I guess I can't make Toussaint someone lighter when he grows up. I guess I thought we could do that, because in his head, you guys are black. You get the same thing.
Who are we still talking about? Are we assuming that Ryan Coogler's Black Panther 3 in like 2027 or 2028, his Black Panther is the same Black Panther that's going to be introduced in Secret Wars and Doomsday?
Yeah, we don't know.
That's
you know what I mean? Like,
not what they're suggesting, but they're suggesting that this kid, or this T'Challa we're supposed to get, if this is true, is going to be the child from an alternate universe. The kid is still going to be a kid.
How convoluted are we getting? Like, again, so it's not even an aged up kid from this universe, from 616. You're going to another universe to pull another person that's not T'Challa. That you don't even have to do. Look how you're bending yourself into pretzels to do this. Are you really going to convolute it this much? Again, they're looking for a bounce back. They are looking for a recovery from what Wakanda Forever was. At least that's the idea, right? So why would you convolute it even more? If T'Challa and Shuri and that dynamic were a problem, you're going to convolute it even more by bringing another version of that. So then what happens to him? What happens to the literal 6-year-old that's still in Earth 616?
So from my understanding, and again, this I don't know. There's all this.
What are we even talking about? Who's writing this crap?
Marcus, your microphone maybe blow on the microphone or tap it.
No,
I know. I think it's your webcam mic.
Check the.
It's like an echo once you yelled. I was like, wait, that's off.
Yo, still there?
It sounds better actually, or maybe I'm telling myself that. Tap on it.
Yo.
Let's go with it.
Yeah, they from my understanding, and again, I'm going off of, I don't know if this is just a theory. I'm assuming this is just a theory because I'm just going, the kid is going to, it's going to be a variant of the kid from another universe that comes in.
Makes no sense.
But the kid that's in the main, that's what I'm saying, because you're missing the opportunity if they do this to act. First of all, anyway, we've said it all about T'Challa. I'm not going to get into that part, but as far as like how time is going to work, because it could be the kid from our universe. We don't know, because we do know that in Fantastic Four, Franklin Richards we already knew this before. Like, this has been in the leaks and things like that. Franklin Richards is going to be 4 or something like that. In Doomsday, he is 14. So 10 years or something jumps. And how is it? Does he age himself? Or so I don't know. We don't know. I don't know. It's all to the point where I'm getting exhausted. I'm gonna be honest with you. It's an exhausting thing, because this is like, and maybe it's exhausting because it's these scoopers that don't really know. It's just this things getting thrown out there. The story's getting changed 1 minute, story's getting changed the next minute. I don't know.
I also don't believe that the Russos and Marcus and McFeely were brought back to write that crap. Now, if you're telling me that that is what Coogler's current direction and Joe Robert Cole, and that's what Nate Moore left off on, okay, well, that's what it is now. Is that what it's still going to be by 2027, 2028? We'll see. We'll see.
Right.
But if you're telling me, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I was just going to say, if you're telling me that Joe Russo gave McFeely a call and was like, "Hey, we're mulling around ideas about getting back into the MCU." McFeely hangs up and says, "Hell no," then hangs up, and then calls them the very next day and brainstorms the 2 movies that we're getting now in Doomsday, or what we're going to get in Doomsday, and because they've been reworked, but what we'll eventually get in Doomsday and Secret Wars. You telling me they did all of that? Lock them in. Bring them back. Hey, matter of fact, while you're at it, go see what you can do with that Captain America movie over there. It's a real stinker. It's not helping us. And there came up with a aged up, non-canonical character from another universe. Like the Russos did that. Marcus and McFeely wrote that. That's the beef. That's bringing back the Marvel. That's bringing back old school Marvel. That's y'all believe that? Like, both of those things can't be true. You can't be handing the reins back over to the Russos and then saying that we're going to get something that makes very little sense like that. If there is going to be a T'Challa in their universe, it's not going to look like that. It can't.
It can't. No, I agree. I mean, like the Russos, whatever the story is that the Russos or Marcus McFeely have come up with, because remember, we all, like the parts you just said, they called Marcus McFeely. Marcus McFeely said not interested. After whatever they said an hour, Marcus McFeely called back with this crazy ass story, presented it to them on how this could work with the current state of the MCU, blah, 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 blah. The Russos were like, damn, blah, 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 call Marvel. Marvel tells the Russos, that's insane. No,
right.
We're not doing that. Then calls them back and says, oh, we thought about it, or whatever. So whatever this crazy story is, yeah. I don't know. But again, everything that you're seeing online, obviously take with a grain of salt. None of these scoopers really truly know anything. Stories could change from one to the next, because right now, in my opinion, if we're to believe scoopers, this film, Avengers 5 at least, there's too much going on for the casual to even just keep up with it. If I, being a Marvel comic fan, am saying there's too many fucking people in this movie and there's too much shit going on, your casuals are going to be like, holy fuck.
Well,
what?
But they're trying to recreate that Infinity War Endgame kind of saga. The issue that they're going to find, I believe, is that when you did that before, when you did that in 2018, 2019, or whenever it was, 2017, 2018, or no, 18, 19, right? Am I off by
18,
18
19.
was 18 was Infinity War 19. Okay, there we go. 18, 19. When you did that then, the characters that were kind of the meat that were kind of propping up, we all know who the big characters were. We know Tony and Steve and everybody else, but the meat of that cast were the Guardians, right? You had stuff going on with Clint and Natasha. They went on a saga. You even had room for Rhodey somewhere in there, right? He went to Vormir. Um, there were characters that we had built an appreciation for through films that we loved, right? Fast forward now to our 2025, 2026 films, or 2026, 2027 films. You're going to have characters in there that people either haven't seen in a long time, i.e. Shang-Chi, i.e. If Tiana Paris even makes an appearance as Photon, Iman Vellani at that point will have fallen out of people's consciousness, right? I don't know if She-Hulk gets a tap. Mark Spector, where have you been? What are you doing? Like, who even are you? What are we looking forward to? Yes, the OG Avengers in a different form. If that is the case, that is going to be a spectacle. But if you are expecting that to carry the entire film, I'm less confident in that, because that's not all Endgame was. That's not all Infinity War was. It was a payoff for years of watching something. Well, for this last couple of phases, we haven't really been watching all like that, or haven't been enjoying.
What did they pay off on? I remember watching Endgame and seeing "Come and Get Your Love," and I'm saying, "Oh, that reminds me of the first Guardians," and it was an homage. They're not going to do that here. Actually, when you told me,
I don't really know what they have to homage to either. But go ahead on that, because there's from this past phase, there's nothing that's gonna be like,
I think that's why
Shuri's back. Shuri's the Black Panther again. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's why there's such a focus on highlighting the old Fox stuff and the old Sony stuff, and kind of doing that, because they have a lot of extra space. They got to fill room, right? Let's go back to titles that people actually cared about when Marvel was popular. I believe that's why they leaned heavily on the Hulk stuff with Sam Wilson, because it's a nostalgia pool, right? You're going to see the leader, you're going to see or President Ross, even though it's a different character, but you'll still be acting like the Ross in the MCU. Betty Ross reappearing in this movie is not by coincidence either. They are trying to connect the nostalgia that people have for the 2003 Hulk film back to Sam Wilson, like a damn transplant. And I don't think it's gonna go like that. But they have put a whole lot of money into the marketing of it, so we'll see how
they have.
Hearing that Doomsday was rejected as a script, and then they changed their mind and then they took it, I'm like, good. They rejected a movie script. It probably is a good movie just because of their track record. And then Michael Nemo said what I wasn't gonna say, which is make fun of the way you say the word Hulk. And but was something you also said earlier about Toussaint. You were talking about how this is a character with no foundation. He's a non-canon character, and I don't think that's triggered like that registers. I think they need to know that we can't really get invested in this character, no matter how much popular he gets. As soon as you guys are done with him, when a reboot happens, T'Challa will be back, and it won't be Toussaint. So like, you're elevating nothing. You know why I'm so excited about this book here? Because there's a foundation, Children of Blood and Bone. I know that I'm gonna read this thing, and if it's a successful enough movie trilogy, it becomes a TV show on HBO Max 20 years later. I know that this is a foundation. I can invest in the character of Zaylee. I can't invest in Toussaint growing up. You see him for a movie, a 2 movie, 3 movies if it's really successful, and then the character goes away forever. As I've said 100 times.
I'm excited to see where this goes. Are we talking about that now? We're switching over to Blood and Bone.
I want to do that one a little later, unless you guys outvote me. It's a group.
We can go to the. You were gonna start with the Star Wars one when I said Odysseus. So
yeah, I got no rules on what we start with, but Star Wars it is. Ryan Gosling is in Star Wars. Everybody, we saw this news break from Snyder, or it was a Hollywood Reporter. They tell us that the Sean Levy film, director of Deadpool, director of Free Guy, some episodes of Stranger Things. Sean Levy's lead is Ryan Gosling. My initial reaction is Star Wars does not need name power and big names to sell their movie. The brand of Star Wars should be enough. But that's the position that we're in. I think Kathy Kennedy was watching Barbie and she's like, oh, let me get that Ken guy. And she gets him.
Dog, I have no idea where we're at right now with Lucasfilm. I don't know why they're still announcing these projects. I don't believe this is going to come to pass either. I don't know why we should expect this to be any more of a guarantee than Patty Jenkins' Rogue Squadron or Taika Waititi's film or Donald Glover's Lando. I don't know why this is any more of a guarantee than any one of those. But the idea that this was greenlit to some degree from whatever leadership is currently running the boat at Lucasfilm does tell me that it's kind of a swing of desperation. Look, it's kind of like what we literally just talked about with the Russos. So the Russos pitched them Doomsday originally. They turned it down. They had to scrap King Dynasty, went back to Doomsday. Okay. Here's Kathleen Kennedy. David Lindelof, I don't want your Yahya Abdul-Mateen revamped Jedi story 100 years into the future. Ew, no, get it out of here. Fired. Yahya, go do Wonder Man, right? Then all of a sudden, here we go. Oh, Sean Levy? Sure, you can come in with Ryan Gosling about a new Jedi and potentially being mentored by an older Rey. Is that not what the synopsis of Lindelof's film was? We're going to get Heather Mirren in here to play Rey. Yahya will be the younger Jedi. We're going to go 100 years into the future. So we're giving Sean Levy basically the treatment that David Lindelof walked through the door with, only we're shortening the time range. It'll still be Daisy Ridley instead of Heather Mirren. And instead of Yahya, it'll be Ryan Gosling. What the? It's like musical chairs. Oh, we like your story, but we don't like you. Let's get somebody else in here who's going to be a little bit more amenable. Plus, they got Deadpool 3 out of Levy, so they're buddies right now.
There is a level of like, oh my God, they've been advertising some Star Wars movies forever and they never come to fruition. So why should I react? There's a lot of that happening here, but it's worth reacting to. Like a Hollywood trade announced it. They're usually correct when it comes to that stuff.
Yeah, it's a bit different this time. This is not coming from Christian Harloff, Daniel RPK, or any of the others. This is coming from the Hollywood Reporter, which makes it real. So the fact that
Rogue Squadron was real.
That's true too. That's true too. You started it off right with Star Wars doesn't need big names. I've never leaned on big names to sell anything. They don't have to. The brand of Star Wars is strong enough of its own to garner money and witnesses and things like that. But the fact that I'm just not interested, nothing that Star Wars says, I don't have a long spiel at all. Nothing that Star Wars says excites me. There's nothing that they are doing right now that has me saying, oh my God, I am seated for that. Everybody was like, oh, Natalie Portman's coming back. Great. More Clone Wars flashbacks. Padme's back. So it's like, it's whatever they're doing over at Lucasfilm, whatever the direction is, whoever's putting out these ideas, these like, oh yeah, the sequel trilogy is widely hated. Rey is not a very liked character, but let's start off the next trilogy with her again. And I don't really, it's nothing they're doing has me interested. So I'm be honest with you, I am pretty checked out.
Imagine bringing Ryan Gosling into the fold, right? Because you need the star power, because you need to grab eyeballs, and still trying to center it around Rey. Like, you mean to tell me that you know enough to know that you need a star like Ryan Gosling? You need one of the most recognizable faces in the Western world to promote your product, and then you're still going to have the dissonance to put Rey at the forefront of said project. When is she retiring? Get her a compound somewhere in Reedy Creek and send her on her way. Why is she still allowed to announce new projects that more than likely, again, will never come to pass? I can't find my way to get too emotional about this, like Darius said, because not only is it not serving me, so even if it does come to pass, I'm not going to be beating down the doors to go see this. And then two, I just don't, honest to God, I don't believe that you're going to bring it to the finish line. I don't believe you're going to get this production from start to finish.
Yeah, and then there's the rumors, and see, this is what I mean when I say the entire company of Lucasfilm is in just such disarray, because you've got rumors right now that they are poking at Chris Pine to come in for Rogue Squadron. Excuse me? Rogue Squadron?
Star-Lord? Oh, Chris Pine. I'm sorry. Yo, no! Captain Kirk!
Yes.
Captain Kirk!
But for Rogue Squadron, was Rogue Squadron not canceled? Like,
yeah, I didn't think that was happening. We heard Patty Jenkins literally say that the shit wasn't happening.
Yes.
What are we talking about? Why are we asking for canceled projects?
They don't know what's going on. And again, the only thing that they ever have at Lucasfilm right now, and they do it all the time. They do it all the time. Is nostalgia grab. That's all. That's why they were like, oh, okay, no one's excited about Ryan Gosling. Padme, throw her out there. Throw her out there. It's like, okay, so Natalie Portman's coming back as Padme in some one-off Clone Wars flashback.
It's like the Andor effect, right? Like, bro, we know she dead. She dead. She's not coming back as a Force ghost, right? Like, she's dead. We're not.
But their whole appeal is, okay, they love the Clone Wars. We're just going to give them a different scene that they never saw from the Clone Wars. It's going to be a flashback, something they never saw before, and they're going to love that. And we're going to eat it up. People are going to eat it up. Clone Wars fans are going to eat it up. But then after that, then we have just another moment to put in the timeline of Clone Wars. It's just like, wow, that flashback. That was great.
A live action Clone Wars sounds fire. Sounds very good. If we hadn't gotten,
but how many times can we tell that story?
No, sure. I'm saying if we hadn't have gotten this whole current age of Star Wars television, and that's where we started with like a Filoni-led live action Clone Wars, oh man, they could have milked that for years. Wouldn't have asked for anything new. Done right.
I disagree with this part here that Kevin said. Kevin said, this is a business. That I understand. I understand y'all want good storytelling from Lucasfilm. They are going to play it safe, also not offend their audience, just make their money. But see, here's the thing about that. You're talking about not offending your audience. The same audience that made Lucasfilm what Lucasfilm is today, and not only that, you can't even say that Lucasfilm is making money currently, because no one in their mother has watched any of the last few projects that Lucasfilm has put out. The last time Lucasfilm has been in the movie theater was in 2019, Rise of Skywalker. They're not making money theatrically. They're not making money on the streaming services. If anything, they're losing money. So right now, Lucasfilm as a company is not even viable. You can go to Ollie's. Do you guys have Ollie's where you are? Like the store? It's a store where hand-me-downs and things, the things that certain stores don't want, they don't sell, they send it to Ollie's. That's what's going to end up happening. Yeah, it's going to happen to Lucasfilm. You're going to find Lucasfilm like Ollie's, because at this point it's not sellable. Like, it's like, what are we doing? So I disagree with that.
If we're talking about being offended, they did something seriously offensive recently for Skeleton Crew, where one of the actors who was playing a Jedi, the one that Jude Law's character, where is it? Is this the post here? This actress was telling us and sharing her experience. She was supposed to be Jude Law's in a flashback. She was supposed to be Jude Law's Order 66 Jedi who was gonna die. This character was cut from the movie. The character was cut from the movie and has been vocal about it, like she doesn't give a damn. All this talk about Natalie Portman. I'll say it this way: this woman is Palestinian. If you can read between the lines, this Palestinian woman was cut. The talk is to bring back Natalie Portman. The offense is there. They just don't care about who they offend. This is, I'll read actually the words, which my face is covering right now. She says, "This was the shortest acting job I have done, but the most meaning to the child in me. Playing a Jedi for one scene in Skeleton Crew. I gave a speech when the crew wrapped me on set saying, 'You just created the first Arab female Jedi. Thank you.'" That's when they knew. They're like, "Oh no, what did we do? We thought you were American." It says, "The scene unfortunately didn't make it to the finale cut because these things happen. But I cannot not share. Wait, but I cannot share my experience and feelings. Even Liam rehearsed that scene with me, and I got to brag about it with his friends, which got me coolest mom respect for a moment. Hashtag skeleton crew, Jedi, all that stuff." So she practiced, and she's got the evidence to prove it. So she's like, "Look, I did it." I think she knows what she's doing. She's not complaining, "They got rid of me, cut me because of my ethnicity and because of where Disney stands." I think she's just out here trying to be like, this would have been awesome, you know.
Mhm.
Natalie Portman, though.
Natalie Portman. Yeah, no, she's been getting a lot of work here with Disney here of late, hasn't she?
You remember when Bassem Youssef was saying the same thing about his DC role? And it was the same thing that got Grace Randolph credibility when she was claiming that they cut something. He said that she's made that up, and then he actually had to say, no, we cut you because there was that scene. We cut the scene. Well, then the scene did exist in the Middle East.
Right.
Just a reminder, everybody. I don't want to talk about Ryan Gosling in Star Wars anymore. It's like that's where I want to talk about other things. Star Wars doesn't deserve my attention span. They got 12 minutes out of us now.
Let's move on.
Let's go to Samuel Wilson. Do you like Tony Weaver?
Tony Weaver. Give me a
Junior?
refresher. Who's Tony Weaver?
Well, I got Instagram open. I'll show you. This guy. He's always complaining about things, or he's always
yeah. I know this guy. He's pretty good.
Yeah, pretty good advocate for freedom of speech and an expression of race. And look at this anime; they changed his mouth. This is what he had to say about the Sam Wilson book, "A Hero Looks Like You." Get the volume up.
Marvel character got a children's book about how anybody can be a hero. And it's receiving backlash because of the color of his skin. When someone opposes diverse representation, their loudest criticism is, kids need good characters, not ones that look like them. But when centuries have been spent communicating the idea that a specific group of people are subhuman, then 3/5 of a person, then unintelligent, then violent, then unqualified, then hood, then a society forms where those people can't be seen as good. There's 50 years of research demonstrating that inaccurate media stereotypes negatively impact the way Black people are treated in real life. But there's also research that says people aren't born with those biases. Their beliefs are shaped by the media they see, which is why it's objectively important for kids to be told that a hero can look like this.
True.
But if you think there's no utility in media representation and diversity, you're incorrect, scientifically. And I hope you go represent yourself. And therapy! A Black...
It's important to tell them through actions, a hero can look like this. Writing a book about that. Exclusively that Sam Wilson, there's not a hero looks like you Thor when he's helping people in Norway. There's not a hero looks like you China with Shang-Chi on it. It's a hero looks like you and it's a Black guy. That child is going to go, why did this need to be enforced? What's so weird about my skin that there's a book telling me about how important it is for me? Like the question is going to be asked if they're critically thinking, and you're actually creating the marginalization unintentionally by making that book. Marvel's role in film is to make the Falcon brand and treat it just as importantly as Iron Man is and Captain America is and Spider-Man. When you make the book that goes, a hero looks like you got a Black kid on the cover, they recognize their skin as this abstract thing worthy of needing the lesson. No matter how much good they think they're doing with the book, I'm opposed to the book. I agree with the message that Tony was talking about and what the message and what the outcomes he's looking for are. And I think this book doesn't execute that. It hurts more than get away from Dramatic, please no.
I mean, but that's what you're saying, though.
I'm saying
that's along the same lines of what you're actively saying. I didn't like the comment, but that's we're on those rails. Like,
okay, speak on. Pretend I didn't say anything. Speak on how cool that book is. Then it's your turn.
It doesn't have to be about how cool the book is. I think
that's the topic. That is the topic.
I think you missed the information that was given, right? And it's funny because you're the guy who brings that. Like, if improper representation through media is the problem,
right?
Visual media is not the only media that people take in. Children read books. Actually, if you're doing it right, they should be reading more than they should be watching screens. Okay. So for a young impressionable mind that hasn't had the displeasure of being formed by racism or bigotry,
yes, it hasn't been learned yet,
right?
Yeah,
to understand that maybe some of the introductions that they've had to that lifestyle are not correct. Maybe they are by a family member who isn't so nice to colored people, or to, you know what I'm saying, or to people who have that complexion, and then they read the book. Is that not different than what you advocate for on screen? Having more melanated people at the forefront so that we can break down the walls of racism? How does that change when we're talking about a children's book?
I'm okay with a children's book about Sam Wilson saving the day. It has every positive thing that you can ask for. I'm okay with that. I want that. But this isn't that. This is calling to attention Sam Wilson's skin, which to these kids who have not learned racism yet, forces them to question what?
Oh, no. Finish your point. I was talking about
it forces a kid to question, why did I need this lesson about skin? Yeah, a hero can look like this, and here, of course, a hero can look like that. Why does the hero can't look like that? I'm a kid. I didn't learn racism yet.
Too. Okay, so imagine you're a sick. First of all, I think we're misrepresenting who the book's for. I don't think this is for white children. I think this is to open up the imagination of Black children to know that they can be heroes. But let's stick with your viewpoint. Let's stick with your viewpoint that this is to bring white children out of racism.
No. I'm not. Black children. Let's do the Black children route. You're a Black child. You've got skin just as dark.
So then, if you're a Black child growing up in, let's say that you were born in 2019, that would put you at 6 years old right now, right?
Yeah.
So then, other than Black Panther, which, if you've even seen Black Panther to this point and can understand it and digest it, what superheroes look like you?
Okay, we're so wait,
answer my question. When you turn on Cartoon Network, when you try to watch, different animes or whatever, not animes, but whatever kids are watching for superhero content these days, who are they watching that looks like me?
It's lacking. You're right. It's lacking in representation.
So then if they see a book with a character that looks like them, does that not open up the door for them to see that imagery where they are not seeing it otherwise?
And that's why I support a coloring book or a picture book that looks like them. I support that wholeheartedly.
So what are we talking about? What's wrong with this book?
So it's probably something that you misunderstood with my and I'll fault that on my explaining. The theme of the book or the plot of the book, like being about his skin tone, something that these kids need to be learning or unlearning yet. Like they're in the phase where, you're right. Everything they see is leaning very white. Marvel.
So why would they not need to learn, just like anyone else would need to learn or see it to actually make it tangible for them that it's possible? Like I don't think you're not understanding the disconnect between people having real world tangible examples of things and then connecting that to their life, and then people who don't have those examples and what they end up doing in life. Like that is the difference between a person who takes and reaches their potential and someone that doesn't. It's imagination. So if you don't open up that imagination and just assume that they already know that they can be heroes or that they already know that they can lead in prominent positions, then you're missing an opportunity, because a lot of people don't.
So in this book, make that opportunity. Give them that. seeing themselves accomplishing the feats. What you're asking for, make that what this book is about.
Have you read the book? Have we like actually read through the page? Do we know what the contents of the book? So how do we know that it's not just a superhero book called A Hero Like Me with a black superhero doing superhero stuff? How do we even know that? But it's just the assertion that this is a book that highlights the fact that you can be a black superhero that makes it like that. We haven't even read this thing. We don't know what the contents of this book is. We know the title.
It says a hero looks like you.
Chill. Again, heroes do not look like us in media.
You're right.
This is not something that they should naturally know or have at the forefront of their mind because it's not something that's perpetuated.
We both recognize the problem, and the solution I recognize is for Marvel Studios to produce content with heroes that look like you.
Right, that's fine. Yes, obviously they should do that. What is the problem with Sam Wilson, or excuse me, what is that man's name? Anthony Mackie writing a children's book about a black hero?
Nothing is wrong with him writing a children's book about the black hero. Nothing's wrong with that. Okay. It is preferred. It is appreciated if Anthony Mackie wrote this book about a black hero.
Okay.
When the plot of this is
you don't know what the plot is. You literally don't know because you haven't read the book.
When the title of this,
the plot of the book, you don't know what the plot of the book.
When the title of this and the message that the title indicates to the black child how why did you shake your? How marginalized he is. That his skin is this abstract thing that all the white kids with the white superheroes don't have a book.
It is. What are you talking about?
They don't need to know that yet.
Thing?
Yeah, they don't need to know that yet because their minds aren't, their perception of racism, what they have learned, because racism doesn't need to be learned, it needs to be unlearned. They're not there yet. They're at such a young enough age where you're introducing this to them when you shouldn't be. You should just be like providing a normal children's book.
You want to shield them from the realities of the world, which is only
no. I don't want to shield them from the realities of the world.
To sugarcoat the way that it is instead of dealing with their reality and trying to teach them through that reality. You can't pull wool over their eyes. You can't tell them that it's something that it's not. Oh, just while you're a child, and then we'll give you the real when you get older. That's not. You're not raising black children. That's not a thing. You cannot do that. You'll put somebody in danger having a false idea of what is out there and what people really think of them. His skin color is abstract. His skin color does stand out. People do see him and put him in a certain box. You are not preparing that young man or young woman, whoever you're talking to, for any bit of life, trying to convince them that people walk out and walk by you colorblind. That's nonsense. It's nonsense.
Jill said, "Oh no."
So I support again with informing young people at a certain age, probably not probably, certainly not at 4 years old and 5 years old. And we can disagree on that. But I want.
But you don't think.
Let me finish the thought.
I want to finish your statement. Yeah, finish your statement.
I want informed youth. Not exactly 4 years old, but I don't want the 4-year-old at that damn age to be realizing, oh, there's a color thing going on in the world right now, and I'm different. I don't think that's healthy, and we can disagree there, and I welcome that disagreement.
No. You're absolutely right. It's not healthy, and I can tell you as a black father, that is not something that you want your child to deal with at any age. Let it be a 4-year-old or grown. The problem that you're having a problem actually realizing is that you don't have any control over that. Whether I tell them, whether they see it on TV, whether they interact with little kids at school, it's not going to be shielded. You can't keep a racist world away from a child. You can't stop it from happening. They're going to realize it whether they're 3 years old, 5 years old, 10 years old, 16. They're going to come into contact with it, and you can't control when it happens. You don't control the systems. You
can control when it happens if you buy the book for that. You're controlling. You're saying it's happening now.
You can't control when racism happens to you.
Because I at first I was like, oh, I see, but I still do. I see where Chill is coming from. I see where he's coming from, but I'm also, because I've preached this too, I see and more on the leaning toward on the side that Marcus is on, just because like critical mass, these white children are being taught that at home, though. They are. And for example, I have a friend that is a teacher, and they were doing a deal for Martin Luther King Jr. Day, or that coming up on that, or his birthday.
I already agree with you, Darius. I already agree with you. And the children need to see Black people.
Well, not that. Not even that. She just had them go color Martin Luther King, and then bring it back and say what they got from it, or what they, who he was or whatever. Anyway, one of the white kids in the class came back and said that his parents told him that he doesn't have to do anything for Martin Luther King because they don't agree with that and things like that, blah, 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 blah. So I'm sure whatever he told her wasn't exactly what mommy and daddy were saying at home. I'm sure Martin Luther King was every name but Dr. Martin Luther King. So if he's being taught that in that second grade, I don't know how old you are in the second grade, but if he's being taught that in that second grade, then, and just one more, sorry, this is a quick one. In 2020, there was a guy that I was going back and forth with on Facebook, and he was one of the, he's one of members of boards or something like that over the city. And he was talking about he was in one of the groups on Facebook, Norman groups on Facebook, and he was just spewing some racism on shit. And I commented under it and said, da, 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 whatever I said. But I remember I ended it with, I see that you have kids, and I'm assuming your kids sit next to Black kids at school. And if you are saying this on Facebook, I'm sure you're saying this at home. So they are then taking in that energy and then looking at those Black kids as you, whatever you're calling them at home. He quickly deleted his shit, but that's just two examples of these kids are learning it regardless. So I think, why not equip our kids to knowing who they are, and that, yeah, there is a difference. And regardless of if, we want to shield them from it or not, the world is not so kind.
I think the route to fix or to challenge that, the white kids now we're talking about who are growing up in the hateful homes, is to flood the content on our screen with authentic representation, like a Sam Wilson Falcon book, just with him saving the day, not one that draws attention to how different he is to the white kids. We both want the same thing. We just disagree with the title or the theme of the book, what's implied of the book. When they talk about, when they advertise the book
by a superhero book that doesn't highlight the fact that the superhero is Black.
Every page he's colored highlights the fact that the superhero is Black.
No, you didn't hear. But still, again, you're rejecting the promotion of the fact that he's a Black superhero, and you want Black children to be empowered by that. That's not a call to action. That's not a call that you should be proud of. If the book itself is not promoting proudness of self, then why would that be the effect that the people reading it get?
That's where we disagree. Whether the book is called A Hero Who Looks Like You or not, just that fact that Sam Wilson is the Falcon and he's kicking ass and he's saving the day is empowering.
Well, then we've been empowered by Sam Wilson already, because he's done it in Age of Ultron. We don't need the book then. We don't need anything else, actually. What are we even tripping about? We've already had our empowerment. We've seen Black characters kicking ass on screen. Empowerment, check. Job done, right?
Nah, man.
If that's the bar, that is the bar you just set. Simply just seeing a Black face on screen kicking ass empowers, right? So then,
whether this book is called, no, I didn't say on screen. I was talking about the book. Whether this book is normalize who they are through education, not through differentiation. And I think that's a good way of putting it. Dramatic was the first guy in the comments I saw.
You cannot educate properly without differentiation. If you are not acknowledging that there's a difference between the races, if you're not acknowledging that I have material differences in my culture and my upbringing, then you are not properly educating on me.
Yes.
If you can't look at me and acknowledge my Blackness, you are not educating. You're fooling yourself. You're patting yourself on the back.
So we already talked about earlier about how the default is a Caucasian. It is white. It is European centric. That is the default. That's normal. We were educated that through the multiple appearances and default of everyone being white. We were educated on that just off of that. No one that stops and talks and makes books and titles about how they are white.
They don't
have to. You're right. They don't have to. You're right. You're right. We agree there.
Jesus Christ. Let's
It's fine. I think the audience can disseminate
yeah.
like what I was
Yeah,
going for.
let them decide. Yeah.
Yeah, that was a very healthy talk. And I remember earlier when we were talking of. Never mind. There's certain people I could do that with, and Marcus is one of them. So shout out to Marcus.
Well, I joined in this time. Last time I just let you guys, but this time I felt like normally I feel like, I'm like, well, do I want to interrupt the flow? Is what I'm about to say really going to be that impactful to the conversation? So I felt impactful this time, but I joined. So good on me.
And I think you're 7 in grade 2.
I tell kids around me all the time we're better than them. That's crazy, Raymond. That's just fucking nuts. That is terrible. Your generation is screwed.
We got a super chat a few minutes ago that we didn't recognize. We're terrible. But Michael, for you, for the money that you dropped, we got a super chat anthem. Yeah.
Appreciate you, Michael Nemo.
Lucasfilm is using Chat GPT to cast and spin story ideas. Are they? I think, remember when you guys, Josh and Marcus, you guys were doing the Chat GPT for a second Black Panther movie, and it was like decent. It was better than what we had.
Yeah, way better. Way better.
I'm not putting it past some of these script writers. They're just like, here, I'll put it in Chat GPT, and then I'll make my alterations if they just don't care about their job. You're
interesting.
Muted.
I said interesting. What is that? No, we got another from Michael, didn't we?
Is it a $10 one?
Yep.
Hey! Salute to Michael.
Salute, Michael.
I think it'd be more powerful and classy if the book was just about Sam being a hero and making sure to show his skin color via the art. It worked for me in the 70s. Yeah, Michael's old. I forgot that. He was saying how he's like 7 years old when he saw the first Star Wars or something like that.
And that's fine. Again, I think this conversation slants a bit in who the target audience is. Like if you feel like it's incumbent on you to massage the conversation into them, I'm not really that type of person. I'll never go along with that. But if you feel like that's the way you need to go about it, I feel like that's more apt for our under-melanated folks who want to learn, right? It is not truly a lesson for our folks, for Black people, if you're not being honest about it, right? You're not teaching them anything. You're giving them what they could see on television. And if that's not adequate, then it's not adequate to give them that same type of cookie cutter representation, if you call it that, in book form, right? Like I will say that it is a bigger impact than what you realize to tell these kids that they can do something, right? It is, you are missing a tremendous opportunity if you are taking it for granted that they are just born knowing that they can do anything. That is false. That's a fallacy. They need to be built up just like people need to be built up. And I don't think it's out of left field. Like, again, if your focus and your aim is to do that, to state it. If you're looking to uplift, if you're looking to open up the imagination of Black children, it should not really be that far out of left field to state that in the title of the product.
I would love for our kids to be entertained and see great representation. I would also like for them to be informed, not through the entertaining books, but through the other books, the nonfiction books. In that section, absolutely. Wise them up. Tell them about what happened in 19 something something. Yes. Thank you, Michael. He said,
Bless
"I
you,
know."
Michael.
Should differences always be acknowledged, though? There's another Mike who's sort of seeing things the way I see it.
I mean, you guys you're asking a question that isn't really a question because it's an empirical fact that those differences are going to show and matter. So asking the question whether or not we should highlight them is a misnomer. It doesn't mean anything. Yes, no, in between, they're going to matter.
And the reason they matter is because the media is filled with white. Now, as media, your role in media, if you want to be part of the solution, is make it so that there's not media just filled with white, and you color things up. You diversify. That's Marvel's role.
We have black faces in media now. That's not,
well,
unless you're
lead
talking
position.
about owning the infrastructure. Now, that's something completely different. We could talk about this all night. But if you're talking about simply being a contributor that can highlight black stories, well, how's that working out for Joy Reid? How's that working out for Don Lemon? How's that working out for Van Jones or any number of black contributors who could have, but just found a way not to?
I can't go to the news outlet, or the news reporters. I want to stick to the books. And if it's a lead position, like if the lead movies, the lead entertainment on the cast is lead and they're black, that's what I'm talking about. And Marvel has the capabilities of doing that.
Gotcha.
This is fun. Who is us? I don't think that's the issue. I do not believe people know their history more than they know their own /ours. The issue is they don't know history, period, Dramatic. They should be learning in school about Denmark Proceed. Do you know who that is? Crispus Attucks, Nat Turner. I heard of him.
Marcus Garvey, Mansa Musa. I know the last three names.
I think he made up Crispus Attucks. I think that's one of those, when you say Candace and they try to get you on stream, he's making up these names. Crispus Attucks?
I wouldn't proclaim. I have no clue, so I'm not going to proclaim it's fake.
I thought about
the last three are legit: Nat Turner, Marcus Garvey, and Mansa Musa.
There's a Nat Turner movie. I think Nate Parker has that one, The Birth of a Nation. It got me thinking about doing a horror where people turn into zombies or something, or monsters, and it's the descendants of the people who ate Nat Turner. You ate him, and that's in your DNA.
Jesus.
Probably not going to get greenlit. No.
That's not. That's not how that works either. Anywho,
you ever seen the Wendigo stuff for Marvel? Same sort of concept.
Gotcha. Looks like a lot of people know who Crispus is.
A war soldier.
A war soldier is crazy. I get what you meant, though. I definitely get what you meant. First man whose blood was spilled for the American dream. We talking about revolution? Interesting. I'm gonna make me look some shit up.
Crispus Attucks, Boston Massacre. Ooh.
The Boston okay, yeah.
Why is Josh Googling and then typing things in?
I'm sorry. Of African and Native American descent. Interesting. American Revolution time. American and Native American.
Oh, yes, this brother. I've seen this picture of him, the black and white one.
You saw him on your Ancestry website? He's Native and black. He's your family?
No, brother. Your family would have Native as in part of the 5 civilized tribes. Native. There's a lot of Native.
Ooh-wee. I don't know if y'all want to break that out for stream talk. But I'll stay here if you want to. I'll stay here if you want to, for sure.
Oh, I'm definitely down.
I'm keeping that off stream. For those of you who don't know, the last 3 weeks before we streamed, we were talking about this stuff, about Ancestry, and Blue was part of it too. And you hopped on that second half. Yeah, it was. I'm not doing that on stream. Not on Pantheon.
Yeah.
On Pantheon, we got to talk about LeBron James and the ownership situation with the basketball league, which I'm really happy that we know is happening? Because I've always been wondering, what are all these billionaires doing or rich people doing? My theory, everybody, is that Aubrey Graham was one of those investors in that $5 billion league. He,
Hmm.
you remember in that song how he's talking about how he's gonna like rat out LeBron or stuff like that? Well, one of the things he did was he went to Bloomberg and he leaked that that's the plan, that's what they're doing. LeBron James's league with Maverick Carter was supposed to be like having a Toronto team also. And unfortunately, that's not going to happen anymore. His international league, which will have like a week in Dubai, this is not going to. This secret got out because of Aubrey Graham.
So, doesn't Drake have a stake in the Raptors?
He's the global ambassador, but he's not an owner.
He doesn't own any part of the team, though. Okay, gotcha. Yeah, man, that would be an interesting chess move if you were trying to get back at your petty partner. I think that if his money interests are no longer tied in that, I think that would probably have a little bit more to do than the kind of cat fighting that he's doing. Honestly, that may have been the impetus to all of this. You know what I mean? Maybe they fell out over his stake in the new league in the midst of the Kendrick beef, and then during that back and forth, LeBron ends up at the forum for the pop out, and then he's playing Not Like Us at the games and stuff like that, singing it at the games.
Yeah,
and it just keeps snowballing until he finally gets to the point where he's rapping to him in front of fireplaces and apparently leaking things to the Bloomberg network.
Well, I feel that the fireplace rap, LeBron didn't react. Oh, I'm getting angry. And then he made the thing about the academics said about him cheating on his wife. LeBron didn't react. Oh, this guy's not reacting. All right, here's the big one. I'm going to tell Bloomberg about this new league that you were starting. So like the NBA, who were real chill and they were thinking you were going to own this Las Vegas franchise and they thought, yeah, they had you under control. Now they know what you're up to behind the scenes. And it was if LeBron would have just like spazzed out and reacted and cried and been like, Drake needs to stop it, then Drake wouldn't have done that. Aubrey wouldn't have done that. Excuse me. His name is Aubrey Graham. I think that that's the way that things played out. Now, LeBron did not play in the second half of the All-Star game last year. He just kind of like sat on the bench. He said, that's it for me. It is in his best interest not to make the All-Star game that hot, because 3 years from now, when he's retired and he's doing this new league, he wants to make his All-Star game the best. He wants to do horse. He wants to do the thing in Dubai where they shoot a basketball off an elephant and who can do the most points in 10 minutes. He doesn't want the NBA to be known as the fun league. He's going to put nicknames on the back of his jerseys. He's going to have like a better schedule. It's not in his best interest to make the All-Star weekend good, because his All-Star weekend needs to overcompensate. It needs to satisfy the NBA fans.
So then what? He's taking the All-Star weekend?
Like all he had to do was say, I'm sitting out. I'm an older player. Yeah, he's going to tank the All-Star weekend.
Okay, that's interesting. Another, to kind of tie this back to your Drake conspiracy. Does anybody watch Rory and Mal, their podcast?
I've seen people comment on them, so I might know what you're talking about.
So there was a member who recently got axed. It was the I think maybe he's Indian, I don't know, some kind of Middle Eastern, I believe. Name's Julian. He got recently let go off the podcast. He started his own thing. He had a clip where he was talking about this whole situation and how Savannah James may play a role, right? So imagine you're LeBron James's wife. Now I'm not knocking on wood. I think it's the best thing in the world that this man has a squeaky clean reputation outside of basketball, and I hope it always stays that way for the sake of black men everywhere. But let's play practical person in the world. What up, Dre Mac? And say that maybe there's an acceptable amount of play that LeBron is able to do while he's on the road, right? Well, do you think that being with Drake and everything we know about him and how he likes to talk about the women that he's been with and all the pictures we've taken, I mean, we've got footage of Drake with every woman he ever been with. Do you think that level stays within the acceptable range that Savannah set it at? Or do you think it goes above and beyond when he's with Drake? every time they play the Raptors at home, you know he's spending an extra day in Toronto type shit. You know what I mean? Like maybe that played a breakdown in their relationship as well too. Because if there's one archetype that's not safe around Drake, it's a married man. He either gonna get you in trouble or he gonna get in trouble with your wife.
Okay, that's what I thought you were going with. His
I mean,
wife probably. Why did he just text me that? What's going on here? As Drake is known to, if I'm going to friend you, I'm also going to friend your wife, because if we ever not become friends, I get to go after your wife and she'll, follow me back on Instagram and do those kind of games that he does.
If there's one guy who's not going, it still burns me to this day that Kanye chose who he chose and left the gates to the castle open for that man to creep down the block. But if there's one man that could rebuff Drake, oh, you didn't get the reference?
Sorry.
See, I crept down the block, made a right, cut the lights.
Is that a Drake song?
That's what's like Sicko Mode, Kanye West, Kim Kardashian, Drake. No?
So I don't listen to Drake music. So if it had Drake in it, it's probably why I didn't know the lyrics.
Well, this was what was that, 2017, 2018?
I didn't listen to Drake music in 2009 on Degrassi. Like I was like, this is a childhood actor. Why would I take him seriously in the
None of y'all know Sicko Mode? I see him in that saying nope.
Damn, nobody knows Sicko Mode?
Tomatoes.
Jesus, okay. That's Travis Scott. I didn't think that the Drake effect is rubbed off on the Travis Scott.
Yeah, said that was Travis Scott.
But was Drake part of the song though? That's why
yes.
I didn't listen to it.
Drake has a very good verse in the song.
Was about Kanye.
But my Sicko Mode experience is when they had the Happy Meal with Travis Scott, and people would pull up on the drive-thrus and play Sicko Mode. You know what I want? That I just know the song from that. It had Drake in it, so I really didn't watch it or listen to it.
Got you. Yeah, no, I mean it went for me. So I definitely listened to it until
Kanye West.
Until I heard that he was talking about Kanye. But again, to bring it all the way back to the point, there's one man who's just not going to go for that or be embarrassed in that way or even have a back and forth with you about his wife had you made an advance in the public. It's LeBron James. It's LeBron James. I'd much rather see, or I think that he would handle it in a way that hurts you financially, that hurts your pride, and did so both quietly so that I don't have to have my hands on it. So now if you're out here ranting and raving about it, you look like the crazy person, which he does. He looks like a scorned girlfriend. He looks like he lost his man. He looks like Travis Kelce's ex.
Wait, ex? They're not together?
No, Travis Kelce's ex, the black chick, the one that keep crying about him. Yeah.
Okay, I wasn't aware she kept crying about him.
Yeah, right. He left me for some celebrity. Girl, we know who he left you for. Get up. Stand up.
The Super Bowl halftime show just got some news with Kendrick Lamar Duckworth. It's not just him there anymore. It's going to be SZA.
That's going to be dope. It's going to be dope. Now, does this increase or lower the chances that we actually hear Not Like Us at the Super Bowl?
We were always going to hear Not Like Us at the Super Bowl.
But they could just do, they have enough in between GNX, what they had on GNX together, and what was on SZA's deluxe album with Kendrick. They could just do that and get up out of there, right? And I'm sure there have been lawyers circling around Dot, telling him he better not, we're threatening this, we're threatening that. I'm positive.
Yeah, that's why the petition filing wasn't enough, and he had to change it to make it a lawsuit. Like he needs it urgently. He's really trying to get this song not played in 2 weeks from right now. So that's why he changed it up. It'll be played. He's got to play it. If he doesn't play it, we'll be upset at Kendrick Lamar for not playing it. Kendrick Lamar.
It'll be played. He's gonna play it. He's going to do the song.
Dramatic. Okay. If he does play it, do we just get the chorus, or does he actually go?
That's what I'm thinking. I don't know that we get to the verses actually saying Drake's name, actually saying the others. I think we might just get
probably A minor. verse. Best part
Yeah,
of the song.
probably that, but probably not. Say Drake, none of that. Like we'd have about
This is what he should do. He should let the crowd sing every word. He should let the crowd sing every single word because we know it. Say Drake. I hear you like young. You better never go to Cell Block 1.
Also, the clean version sucks of this song. It would be really hard to perform this clean. So if you just let the crowd do everything, that's kind of better.
Lit. And everybody in the stadium is gonna know. Wop, 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 wop.
Yeah, fuck him up.
You can't say that. You can't say the F word.
The crowd can.
Like that. Just lip it. He'll do it.
He can also change some words to it also if he needs to, like to make it like about this lawsuit. Why you filing a petition? Aren't you tired trying to strike a chord? Like he can do that.
He said, "Do the Kids Bop version." Say Drake, I hear you like gum. Give you a nigga. Say you want some. The Kids Bop version of Not Like Us is crazy.
What if BBL Drizzy plays and he just has his own verse for BBL Drizzy?
You know, there was a post that I saw today for Kendrick. They were talking about how since it's Not Like Us, since all of that, this man has not been on one podcast. He has not done one interview. He has not put out one tweet. He has not said shit.
Biggest rapper in the world right now.
Yep, he has not said shit. Meanwhile, Drake's been. Whose podcast was he on?
Aiden Ross.
Yeah. It was Aiden Ross.
No, Kendrick has said some stuff.
What did Kendrick say?
We have to interpret his words on Instagram. Remember?
There you go. Give me one more.
Well, wait for it. You guys know later on in the video he's gonna say no second chances. There's no round twos. Remember?
Mm-hmm.
We have to read interpret his words. And by the way, let me play this.
I would say y'all saw the promo. There you go.
Yeah, everything's smooth. I'm on the field right now. Yeah, you know, same old, keeping the body in motion, getting that wind up. You know, this field a lot bigger than what people think, so that's a must. Exactly. Now, I've been thinking about a guest performance.
Hey now, all about my yin. Big face beat again, my peace from within. This goes out to all my doggies in the pen. For the win. Hey now, say now.
Okay.
Hey now.
The last time when he did the little sly thing to Drake about no second chances, you would wonder, is Apple down with it? Like, was there another sly diss inside here? But Apple said, no, you're not going to do another one of those. This is just to promote the Super Bowl. And that's why there was no clever double entendre type thing in this promotion.
I mean, obviously, Humble is going to the cops, so let's leave him alone.
Yeah.
Like, let's stop touching him until he get all that settled, and then we'll probably kick him again next year. But I mean, the damage is done, man. If he's in court,
I was going to say, does Kendrick care?
This man's words destroyed my career. That's what he's saying. This man's words destroyed my career, and then all the black streamers help him defame me. It's over. It's over. So let's wrap it up. I don't have to touch him again. He is done in himself with how he's handled the loss.
Yes, so I said, Kendrick. I don't know if Kendrick even cares to that. Like, it's like, oh, I mean, it's unequivocally that, you know, he has won. So if Drake is just doing all this running around, I mean, it's like Kendrick is sitting back, just like he's shooting himself in the foot. Drake is doing all this talking, going to lawyers, going to police officers, doing all these fucking podcasts with Aiden Ross. Meanwhile, Kendrick's posting commercials on Instagram for the Super Bowl. So it's just like, I don't think Kendrick even gives a fuck.
Well, looking at the brackets, the Chiefs are still active. I think they're playing Buffalo next week. That's going to be their thing. If Taylor Swift's husband is in the Super Bowl, she probably won't perform, and she will perform with Kendrick because it's a very commercial song and it got to reach the widest audience. She'll be performing with Kendrick Lamar if she's not a fan at the Super Bowl 3 weeks from now. Either way, she'll be at the bowl.
There's no way. Drake will run up on the stage and drag Taylor Swift off by her hair. Ain't no way. Ain't no way. No, sir. Not, first of all, saying not like us with Taylor Swift on the stage is insane. Just feels all types of wrong.
She can sing OVO.
If we get an OVO out of Taylor Swift, officially, like it will be official. Every good bar that Drake had out of Family Matters and what was the other one? And Push-Ups just aged terribly. All of it. SZA got you wiped down bar, terrible. What else? We fed you the information, terrible. Like everything is officially gone to shit. So now if he lose Taylor Swift, you know what I'm saying? Then we got a song for the Swifties. Okay. Now I can't stand on none of your diss tracks. None of them.
How you think she feels about that being put into this? She probably feels about the streamers who were put into the lawsuit. She's upset. Why are you mentioning my name?
I think she brushed it off. I think she understood that it was entertainment. Honestly,
Lil Baby didn't like it.
Well, I'm talking about with Taylor in particular. Taylor herself done been through enough beefs to understand. And she didn't had enough of this kind of public smoke through her music. You know what I'm saying? Shit, Taylor put it on a pen before Drake will. and not be so subtle about it either. So I think she understood, even probably more than what people understood at the time.
Yes. If Taylor Swift says OVO on stage, somehow Kanye gets a W too. If I'm Taylor Swift, I'm offended. Why am I the punchline? Why am I like this insult or this like you're calling me white basically? Aubrey, I heard your mother in the beginning of that song.
She's white. She's white. She knows she's white. She knows she don't fit in hip hop. She knows that what the insult is if you tell a rapper, "Oh, you work with Taylor Swift." I don't think she would take that personally. She understands who she is.
She doesn't gotta like it though.
She sees who's in the crowd of all her concerts. She knows what's going on.
I think he has to use it.
Have any of the others outside of Little Baby that were mentioned said anything about it? Like,
just 21 Savage. You know, he a OVO soldier.
Yeah, what did he say?
He an OVO gangster. You know,
what did 21 say?
He was down with Drake the entire. I feel like he said something in his song. He just had a verse where he was talking to Kendrick. I feel like.
Yeah, Lil Baby was just didn't want. He's like, why I gotta be brought up?
But I feel like that's like it's an immigrant thing. You know what I mean? Like he's sticking with his fellow non-American. You feel me?
That's right. He isn't, is he? Where is he from again?
You know, he's a Brit.
London. That's right. He's from London. That's right.
He's a Brit. Oh,
that's right. That's right.
Metro does have a case. Metro does have a case, and it's so weird that he took the stance he took and then ran away from it right as people were realizing that he had a funny case himself. It's like, oh man. So now it don't matter. Now you backing off all the Drake hate. As soon as everybody know that you got one of them weird ass cases going on too, huh?
Can you say the case in a very PG way?
I believe it was over assault and harassment, allegedly.
Those words are not PG, but okay, yeah.
Well, I mean, those are legal charges. I didn't give any detail as to what happened, what would constitute assault. Me jumping at you could technically be assault.
It's just one of the on the platform we're on right now. They don't want to hear those words.
Sorry, YouTube. I say real words. My bad. Somebody got a no. Somebody got their feelings hurt.
Doechie's probably going to show up. I don't think he. I think that's will just be her. No, but she'll be performing on her own the same way like when Beyonce was off of camera at halftime.
You think she's ready for that? Like Kendrick was at least that To Pimp a Butterfly when he went on with Beyonce and he had a #1 hit that year. He had All Right. Is that where Doechii is right now?
MIA wasn't ready. Like it's what do we do? We wait until they're ready, but then when is that artist who's going to give you
I
an
think
alley
you
oop?
also you get an artist that's at their peak to also book in Kendrick as well to kind of bolster the total performance. I feel like, does Doechii have the name recognition that people are actually going to go up when she appears in front of 30 million people? You know what I mean? Maybe next 5 years. I don't know if that's necessarily the case today. I think guys like J-Rock or Schoolboy, those are much more likely along with SZA, as opposed to Doechii, who's still getting her foot.
Yeah, because what would the Doechii song be? What would be the, oh, I'm so glad to see her and hear this song from her? She doesn't have
Exactly. Yeah, she don't got that yet. So maybe a couple more years on Doechii.
Which is also the reason why this could promote her and why you can't miss out on this opportunity. She's TDE, isn't she?
Yes, she is TDE.
I just think you do it. I think you do it.
I mean, I would enjoy it. I'm there. I'm just, thinking NFL eyeballs. Everybody got a case but the president. Yeah, think about that, didn't you?
There's a certain doctor who was pardoned, crazy, on the way out.
And why exactly did he need to be pardoned?
I don't know. I didn't. Everyone already signed the thing that said All right.
Yeah, that's nuts. Like, what the hell did he need a pardon for? Excuse me? Mr. Ouchie. That's why they asked me. I went in there. I had a doctor's appointment. When was that? In November. God, you want your flu and your cold? I'm like, not that other one. You can keep that. Keep it.
And that's what we said to Netflix when they tried to raise our prices. We said, you can keep that. We are in a stage and a level of our entertainment where these streaming services have gone too far. I almost did an Elon Musk right now. They've gone too far. They've gone too far.
Okay, yeah, I saw.
Yeah. So
reading it 3 times is crazy.
The third time was to bye everybody. That was the last stream.
Yikes. Anywho, what the hell were we talking about?
Netflix, and they're
raising their prices. Yes,
raising their prices yet again. Yeah, no, it's a lot already. I'm currently not paying for Netflix at the moment. It's a lot right now. What is it? It's already what, 20? So they're raising it to what?
23.
That's not the ad supported tier. The ad supported tier is like 17. It was 14. Now it's 17, and then your premiums are up over $20.
So are you doing ads?
Yeah, I got ads. I'm
oh yeah, no, I cannot.
No ads.
So then you guys are actively paying $20+
I am, and Disney Plus, which is crazy, and HBO.
Well, Disney ad-free Disney Plus is $20.
Is it not? Is it not? Because
baby, I am fiscally responsible. Okay, with socially, I am completely liberal. Financially, conservative as hell. Okay, I am getting ads on everything.
I'm pretty sure Disney is 20 no ads.
Every tier is up by $1 or $2 for the more expensive ones. That is the basic rules of it. I think I'm done with Netflix for now. I'll resubscribe when something like interesting happens. So like I'll be back. If the Jamie Foxx Carmen Diaz, if that movie comes out, I'm not going, oh, I gotta subscribe. I'll wait. If like something like Supercell season 2 happens, oh, I'm back. And then during the off time that I didn't have Netflix, I'll probably have a lot of things to entertain me. But I think Netflix, this is the final month of it, and I'll be back. I know I'll be back. That's all. I'll pause my subscription.
Yeah, I mean, again, I think the reason why Netflix is still able to be profitable through these raises, because I mean they just cleared their largest number of subscribers in Q4 of last year. I think they're up to like 380. They're just 20 million shy of 400 million. That's so much larger than any other streaming product around. Nobody's even close to that. And that's the reason why they're able to do this, is because they've been around longer than everybody else. They've had the business model longer than everyone else. They know exactly how far they can push with their library. And then also, they're in such a dominant position that all of the other studios that have competing streaming services are licensing their stuff to them. They can't lose. They can't lose. Even when they're not producing something that someone wants to watch, the studios are pushing things that they want people to watch to our platform. They will never truly be able to compete with Netflix because Netflix is too far ahead, right? You should have bought them when they were trying to sell it to you. Because now, if Netflix kind of gets the attitude of a Facebook or a Google or an Apple, I would not be surprised if Netflix starts buying some of these streaming services. They're not going to survive anyways. They're not all going to survive.
Right.
I could see some difference, right, and relabeling to make it like a Netflix Dark or a Netflix Kids permanently on another app. So now you don't even have to change profiles, something like that, because Netflix has the apparatus to hold that, right? They've got the content. There's no one else that's even in that orbit, not even close.
Yeah, I looked at it the other day. Amazon Prime, they're the next closest one, and it's really just because of the delivery thing that Prime has so many. And then Disney Plus doesn't have 300; it has 150 subscribers, somewhere in that neighborhood. Netflix wins.
Yeah, easily.
It wins, but I'm still unsubscribing because of the price increase.
Well, no, you're not wrong, right? It's going to have to hit a price point that makes people leave in droves, right? But as they're still seeing steady growth, I mean, biggest growth quarter ever. Yeah, no, they're not slowing down there. Now, go ahead.
Me or him?
Or
no, go ahead. I haven't.
3 years ago, they peaked, we thought, because it was the first ever month they did not show growth, first ever quarter. And we thought, oh, that's it. Yeah, you run out of people. There's just so many people. Mm-hmm. But they did some things. They switched things around, changed it around. And now they're like reaching the height of 300 million subscribers. I don't think we peaked. I don't know what that was, but for some reason, everyone's back. And they'll be back for Stranger Things and some of the live sports that they've got, like wrestling and NFL, which is going to increase people's watch time of it, because those are 2 hours every single week. You're in front of your TV for 2.5 hours. The Netflix is doing pretty good. They've done the appropriate evolution, unlike Blockbuster, but they're based off of evolution. They're always trying to evolve, and they're on the curb, or on the cutting edge. That's what they are, cutting edge.
They could also, I seen somebody talking about, I don't know if there's enough budding music streaming apps, but combining with a Spotify, merging with a Spotify or something like that would be game changing. It would be absolutely game changing. I think it's just a pure numbers game, right? They throw so much at the wall that as long as they have 1 or 2 titles hit every season, they're solvent. They're good, right? They've got their subscriber growth for that quarter. So
Squid Game,
that's a model that can keep up.
Squid Game did stick. They're gonna lose Stranger Things. They still have a season, but they're gonna lose Cobra Kai. I think that's the final season. What is next? We don't know. They don't have a big like S rank TV show outside of Squid Game. They do have a lot of A rank and B rank TV shows, and there's enough of them and enough people's niches that are being satisfied.
So here's another thing that I feel like is going to happen out of this streaming era. I don't think we will see another TV show go past season 5, right? As a result of the negotiations of the writer's strike, I don't think you will ever see another TV show go past season 5. So if that's the case, you're giving yourself a 6-7 year window to try to maximize on a title, right? If you can even last that long, right? But you got to know you got a hard stop at season 4, because season 5 is when they start earning royalties on the show. They start getting syndication, and that's when you start making big bucks as an actor. Have you noticed how many shows are ending in season 2, season 3, right? Righteous Gemstones.
Harlem.
If anybody watches Mac, or what was it?
I was talking about Harlem, but that's a Prime Video thing. But Harlem season 3, everybody, check it out.
Season.
First 2 episodes are there. Yeah, it is the final season. Check that one out on Prime. My girl Megan Good.
Righteous Gemstones with Danny McBride and John Goodman on HBO Max. That's ending in season 4, which was, I mean, it was a pretty solid comedy.
Mm.
But it just seems like the window by which these shows can be successful is so short now. So now it is going to kind of pick up on Netflix to get these shows going, to get them popular sooner. Does that mean they make more content? Or does that mean they focus more on quality to make sure that that window can be filled? You know, because they have to have something hit, right? And like you said, Stranger Things is ending, Cobra Kai is ending. What are we going to fill those voids with?
Stranger Thing ending. Remember that the merchandise will not stop flowing. It may decrease in the amount they're getting, but it's just like free money for the rest of Netflix's career with Stranger Things merchandise from now until forever. They bought Lost. Lost was a Disney Plus exclusive because ABC, and then they bought it again, and Netflix has Lost one more time.
Oh, I'm running that back. I've watched it 4 times. I'm watching it a 5th.
I have to wait before I watch it my 4th time, but I've seen it 3.
It also doesn't help these streaming services either, though, when it comes to like how long it takes for some of these shows. Like, if you're talking about like HBO Max, like as far as the streaming service for HBO Max goes, I just know a lot has changed since, you know, the whole HBO Max is not the same HBO Max. They've taken a lot of shit off. And things like that. But as far as like House of the Dragon,
they've gone at the DC content so hard, like the anime,
and it's awful. It is awful. Like that hub, I don't even go in that hub on HBO Max anymore. It's crazy. Like they got the Dark Knight Rises, but not the Dark Knight. It's like, how the fuck you got?
Go ahead, finish.
It's like, how you got those two, but you got the best of the trilogy. But it's just different.
Consolidated all the Cartoon Network stuff down to Adult Swim. So the only place that you can see vintage Cartoon Network content now is on Adult Swim. If you want to watch Courage, if you want to watch Ed, Edd n Eddy, if you want to see Dexter,
they took Codename Kid Next Door off, which really pissed me off. Like that's gone. That's not on there no more. Yeah, that's gone.
Static is coming back February. Watch, you'll see everyone.
What exactly is the point of having an exclusive library if you're just going to delete your exclusives? Like, where's it going to go? It's not earning you money on a hard drive somewhere in your office. Like, what are you doing with it? At least somebody's watching it. Somebody's enjoying it.
My thought is not enough people are watching it for the cost of like broadband or whatever the internet fee is. So they'll take it off so that they can present it to a lot of people in February and say, watch Static, and maybe that'll happen.
Well, but again, you have to fill that void with something. So even if it's just you bringing back that title at a later date as a special release or something, or if it's a brand new show, it's not like creating that void is making you more money.
Yeah, it does.
It's a
because the fear of missing out. Like, oh, this show is not. Stop doing that, Darius. Like he's like, damn, these guys are disagreeing again. This is gonna be fun. If you pull a show from your streaming service, now when it's finally on, oh my god, it's here for a limited time. I didn't have the chance to see it last time. Like the way you just reacted to Lost, of how it's on Netflix now. I got to run it back because we don't know when it won't be on Netflix anymore. Maybe it was only like a 1-year deal, and it's limitedness of it. The limited nature of it makes you want to watch it.
So FOMO is good for a purchase, right? But you're still ignoring the time in which, in between it was on the streaming service and the time you bring it back, all of the potential customers that you could have had in that meantime, right? If it was, it's more of a greed thing than it is increasing your wealth, because you have to take into account the amount of funds that you gave away, not having it on there at all in between when you had it on there and when you're re-releasing it.
So the would-be watchers who couldn't watch it because it was off, you're saying we're losing out on them, and that's some
I'm saying
pleasure.
People get introduced to these titles at different times, right? Like I didn't watch The Wire until I was a grown man, and if you'd have taken it off HBO at a time where I was trying to watch The Wire, I may have never watched it. So
my theory,
it may be a thing of you make it higher viewership the second time around when you do it.
Yeah.
However, taking it off of the platform completely there's still a time in there where people may have still been watching. It just wasn't the numbers that you wanted.
I'm betting those people will watch it when it is available. I'm saying that they're going to show up. You're saying now with certainty that they will all show up. You're right, but I can afford losing on some of those people who would have watched it when it was not on the streaming service.
Yeah,
they were looking for it.
A loss leader, right? Like you bring it back for people, you give it to them in a specialty form in hopes that they stay, and that's a completely different process or a way of thinking about it, going about it. If you're saying going into it that I'll take the loss to generate traffic for the entire platform, that's a different argument. But if we're saying that it's just flat out going to make us more money taking it off the platform, that's false. I mean, and it's okay, because people do that all the time. The people, Burger King sold you 10 nuggets for $1.50, right? There's no way they made money off of that, but they made money overall because people came and they bought 10 nuggets plus some burgers, or they bought 10 nuggets for their kids and they bought something else for themselves. That's kind of how that stuff goes.
In the immediate, you do not make money because you pulled this show out and you made
Right.
people unhappy. Yes, that's right. With foresight, those people who missed out, they're going to watch it once it's there and it's on the homepage of the streaming service. This show is back. Great. I was looking for it 3 months ago. Now it's there and I'll watch it.
Sopranos is another one I need to get through as well.
That's crazy. Yeah, you can't even watch Ed, Ed and Eddie on HBO anymore. Both Ed, Ed and Eddie and Codename Kids Next Door are on Amazon.
If you don't got cable, you are not watching those retro Cartoon Network shows anymore.
That is insane.
Matter of fact, I think Ed, Ed and Eddie is on Spectrum's on-demand menu, but it's not on HBO Max.
It was. I you know what? I just realized I hadn't seen it on there in a while. That's why I just looked it up. Yeah, it's on Amazon Prime.
For it to go to Prime, it shows you the health of the Warner Brothers streaming service and their stuff, and it shows you the health of the Disney Plus stuff, where Lost is on Netflix now. The winners of the streaming wars are Prime and Netflix, not Warner Brothers and Disney with their Max. They're trying to tag team now to make their own little thing.
Even to the degree that Prime is winning, right? Like it is still pales in comparison to what Netflix is. Netflix is really the father of this era, and everybody else is just kind of trailing behind. I guess Prime is doing slightly better than the other two, but the other two don't have the benefit of being tied to a delivery service that anybody and their mother wants as well. So it's
Netflix is. Would you say Daddy's back?
Yeah, no, absolutely.
I see all those cartoons that King's name in there. Those are all Paramount, Nickelodeon.
Oh, hell yeah! I think they put the old episodes on Paramount or they rebooted it.
I think the old episodes are on Paramount because I know like all the old Nick shows, Jimmy Neutron, except for Fairly Odd Parents, it's still on Netflix. All that stuff is Fairly Odd Parents is also on Paramount, but also on Netflix. But all of the Nick shows are on Paramount.
Avatar is on Netflix.
Yes, Avatar's on Netflix too.
Not Korra though.
Why the fuck is Cat Dog on BET Plus?
Oh man.
Cat Dog is on BET Plus.
Paramount they do own BET, don't they?
They own BET. That's Viacom.
Oh, they do? Ah.
Yep. Now, why they chose to put it on the BET menu? Hell if I know.
It's on like 6 different platforms right now.
Oh, I was going to say it could be an exclusivity thing, but I mean, it's not an exclusivity thing. It's just put it on BET.
Yeah, see, I've been wanting to watch Jimmy Neutron, but I'm not.
We'll find out Jaleel White did the voice.
Right.
Yeah.
Or Phil Lamar.
What is the Roku channel? So the Roku TV?
Yeah, it's a streaming channel. Roku has their own platform and they have their own channel. So you can be a channel on Roku TV, and Roku has their own channel on their own TV platform.
Why not?
Jimmy Neutron was the shit.
Jimmy Neutron. Yeah. Flame Blast!
That was my shit. I loved Jimmy Neutron.
Johnny Bravo.
Right, Johnny Bravo was my shit too. That was all. I feel like my era what got so many good shows. Like you had in Cartoon Network, you had that era of Johnny Bravo, Cat Dog, or not, I'm sorry, not Cat Dog, Cow and Chicken, the Powerpuff Girls. You had Dexter. You had some really good.
You had Space Ghost and all that stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, you had all the late night, like Toonami. Toonami was the shit, first of all. Like Toonami was the shit. Then you had on Cartoon Network, Nickelodeon. Just there was some really good cartoons back in the day.
Yeah, it was honestly. So for cartoons, it was Cartoon Network and Nickelodeon. For live action,
oh yeah,
it was Disney.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Until Disney, got into that Proud Family era, got a little bit blacker over there at Disney, and I started navigating as I grew up. Jet Jackson,
Proud Family, and That's So Raven. Yeah,
it got a little bit blacker over there, so I started migrating, and then obviously that went to the wayside, and I stopped watching children's stuff altogether. So, Rocket Power was fire. Rocket Power was fire. Angry Beavers, Rocket Power, Cat Dog. Rocko's Modern Life, Ren and
Teenage
Stimpy,
Robot, Danny Phantom,
Kablam. I remember Kablam.
Kablam, yes. The little shorts they used to do.
I was not Kablam. I hated when Sweet Life came on.
You didn't? I didn't like the Sweet Life on deck. Sweet Life was Zach and Cody at the hotel. That was my shit. But when they moved to that damn boat, I didn't like that. I didn't like that at all.
Ooh, random fact. Do y'all know what movie Brenda Song first played in? What was the first movie that Brenda Song was in?
On Disney or just in general?
General.
Oh, I have no idea. I know Brenda Song has been acting for quite some time.
Don't cheat, chat. If you know it, say it quickly. If it goes past 30 seconds, I'm going to say you didn't know.
I think she was on the Bernie Mac show at one point, but I don't know. Is it like a dancing movie? Was it the dancing movie with Honey? Honey.
No, she wasn't in no damn Rush Hour.
That wasn't her. That's crazy, Plant Poppy. That's some old all Asians look alike kind of shit. Soo Young? You thought she was Soo Young?
Well, when you walk by every night, talking sweet and looking fine.
I'm not sure what was she in?
Dog, she was in Blade.
Oh.
Really?
So remember, he's chasing Frost through the daylight, right? They come to this spot in Chinatown, this little park. Frost has kidnapped this little girl. He's got her by the throat. He throws her in front of a bus. Blade saves her. Frost gets away. That little girl's Brenda Song.
Oh, wow. Wow.
Go back and look at that clip. That was Brenda Song.
You know, Jenna Ortega had an MCU role also. Do you remember which movie and what her role was?
I don't know.
Years ago. She was in Iron Man 3. See?
I'm sorry, you said MCU role?
She was in Iron Man 3, and she was the president's daughter, the vice president's daughter.
Wow.
Yeah.
Iron Man 3?
Yeah, the vice president was corrupt, and he was trying to get his daughter like a new limb. That's what the device was supposed to do for people, or the extremist is supposed to do for people. Yeah, that was her.
I had to go back and watch Iron Man 3. It's been a while.
American Dragon Jake Long before the reanimation.
That was dope. Yeah. The second animation style was trash. I hated
it. I stopped watching it. I was like, nope, you lost a viewer. I was a fan of that original shit. I didn't like the change.
Blood and Bone time?
One more thing to tell you. Remember that one time we were talking about the legendary basketball commercial where it goes out of bounds, talking about sportsmanship. I have to show you guys something. This is Alex. His name is BJ. He played basketball in Weber State, the same time period as one Damian Lillard. They found him on this podcast, and he spoke about that sportsmanship commercial.
I actually was involved in another kind of like bad basketball scene on Double Team. You know,
no kidding.
Yeah.
Oh shit! Look at him.
Let me pause that so they don't flag us. He was a collegiate player. He was. Oh, damn it! Excuse that.
That's funny.
He
Double
was in
take.
there while he was doing this bullshit.
Yeah. And then here's the best part of it.
Favorite moment from sitting down with him, where he kind of said, "You did not touch the ball." So this whole thing is a lie.
Yeah.
Let that be a lesson about the magic of Hollywood. This is all a lie.
He did it twice.
There were multiple takes. The take they ended up using, he didn't even touch the ball, and it's
He didn't even touch the ball. That
So wait,
when I
wait.
was over, I was telling you sportsmanship. You know, if you
Is
win
that the
game
commercial
because
where he goes up to the coach and says, "Oh, I touched it, ref"?
that
Or,
commercial,
oh, yeah. I wish
So
one of my
he
boys
did the
would have done
double
some shit like
team
that.
extra spot, and he was in the fuck ass commercial where he went and told his coach that he touched the ball.
Yeah.
Jesus, you are literally in two of the worst basketball scenes of all time. Literally.
But the thing is, I agreed. I was like, yeah, because if you win your title, you win the championship, but you didn't really win. Like, you got a trophy, but did you really win? Like, what are you proud about? You were not better. I know.
What was the best sport you were into? Like, what was your favorite sport to play?
We're not doing that.
No, tell me,
was-
what was your favorite sport to play growing up? What was your favorite sport to play?
The sport of basketball.
Okay, basketball. Championship game? Championship, high school state title, if they do that in Canada. I don't even know how they area title, whatever the title is, right? You're going to go run to the referee and tell him, Mr. Referee, I touched the ball last. Give it to the other team.
Well, if I actually touched it, but as we learned from this commercial, he didn't even actually touch it. So
No,
what was
no,
I
that?
can
no.
promise you, if one of my
You
boys
touched
and
it.
my AAU team did that shit, oh, brother.
We are
Nigga.
jumping you in the locker room, chill. Like, there's no.
So
there's
what
no
do you
debate.
want? What
You're
do you
I don't
want
even
from
know
this
if I'm going to be
experience?
able to control
Do you want to have a
myself
trophy,
from-
or do you want to be the best team
That's
ever? Do you
wild.
want to know?
Here's the
I can
thing,
still
man.
beat you. Me touching the ball as it goes out of bounds, I can still beat you. There's still time on the clock. We can still make things happen. There was like 7 seconds left. I want to win
okay.
because I was better than you, and if I can't, congratulations on winning. I'll get the
No,
second place trophy.
hell no. We proved
Yeah,
for 45 minutes why we better than you. We just had a fluke that I accidentally touched that motherfucker, but I ain't saying shit either.
Yeah,
Nigga,
listen,
you
things happen.
I would
Things
grab
happen in
one of my
sport.
boys by the jersey so
Things happen in sport.
How
Refs
do you
make bad
celebrate that?
calls.
How do you put that in your
Refs
shelf?
make bad calls. He could have just as easily. He didn't actually touch the ball, and the ref could have called it out on him, right? And then they could have lost on a bad call. You
'Cause I-
don't interject yourself to make something that's already happening go a different way,
That's what Damian
especially if
Lillard
it's going, especially if it's going your way. Especially,
Hell yeah.
that is competition at its best. You take every advantage that you can find, each and every one.
advantage.
And so if
Okay.
the ref
Every
didn't see
advantage.
it and you touched it, you shut your ass up and go back to the huddle.
In a
I
game
can
when the
tell you
referee
there's
was-
been times I've been out of timeouts and they might call an official timeout. I'm not supposed to be talking to my boys, but hey, come here real quick. Hurry up. Like, we got that time. Get your,
Dropping the
I
water
pulled
in
that.
the middle
I'm
of the
okay
game.
with that.
I
I'm good
pulled
with
that.
that, Darius.
But
I'm good
that's
with the
cheating
Jason Kidd.
too.
But I pulled that is cheating. I got that from Jason Kidd. To get more time, I pulled the water trick. I had one of my boys run into me.
We gotta clean up.
Oh yeah, now we got to clean it up because I need extra time. I'm out of timeouts. This is a championship game. Everything is on. I'm gonna do what the fuck we got to do to win. And I wish one of my boys would have told the ref, my bad, referee, coach,
You said
sorry.
what? Okay, yeah, no, you walk home. Don't get on the bus.
Now, mind you, we're in Vegas. Let us be in Vegas. And coach, sorry. Oh, bro. I don't even think I would be able. I don't even think that's like wait till we get in the car. I don't know if I can be able to contain.
Damian.
I don't remember exactly how the conversation came up, but it came up. We was like, you the person that was in this commercial, where you said the ball went off you and it came up, and we stopped calling him BJ and we started calling him Bobby because it was like, man, you a snitch, like you in that commercial. It was a joke from there.
We got the vibe while talking to Dame that he didn't co-sign Alex's code of honor.
I've never been in that situation, but if it came down to it, I'm cheating. I'm not. That ain't gonna be a moment where I show sportsmanship, and I think that's.
Yeah, what are you talking about?
he got clowned a lot for it. Even to this day, when the commercial come on, I'm telling like my teammates here, like man, I played with him in college, you know. So it's like that's a forever joke. When we first started getting on him about it, he was like, man, I know, like almost like he looked back at it like, man, if I would have known it would have turned into this, I probably wouldn't have did it like that type of vibe. But,
Wait, this is a real thing? Like this is actually happen? I'm so confused on this story. Did this actually happen?
Pablo Torre, that guy we just saw, did the work, found BJ. The character's name was Alex, and he figured out who he was. And it turns out, what a surprise, he played basketball with Damian Lillard in college, and he's a coach now, but he was an actor at the same time.
So he's saying that he wouldn't have done the scene that way if he known how to work it out. I got
That's what he's saying.
It's that traumatizing. Now we can get on to Children of Blood and Bone.
That's crazy. Hell yeah. My boys would have jumped one of their teammates if some shit like that went down, bro.
Dragging you into the locker room. What's wrong with you?
Wait. They would wait to lose the game first, wouldn't they?
I know my, just like the last group I had, they argued just in general. So I can just hear one of them if he's like, nigga, what? Like, I'm talking loud on the court too in front of everybody. Like, yeah, no, that wouldn't have went down, and likely wouldn't have gone back to Oklahoma with us. We'd had to call him a ride, call mom. Hey, bro, your son did some cheating ass shit.
Tell him to go shoot some crap so he can get some money for his plane ticket home.
Yeah. You know that part? Have you seen Rebound where he thought he won? He's holding his kid up and the ref blows whistle and says, well, now he drops the kid. That's me in that situation. Like, what? What are you? What? No.
Look, I'm in the vast minority. I'm in the 0.1 percentile. I get it.
You are definitely in the 0.00 because I promise you, brother, if you did that on a team, an organized team, they'd whoop your ass. There's no way anybody's about to be like respectful. Hey, we'll get them next time. Like
we would win the game and then we'd laugh about it afterwards. Can you believe that one play?
Hell no.
Chill. I'm glad you told the referee because I didn't want to win this game with an asterisk, you know.
Who would know the asterisk is there? That's the problem.
Everyone knows the
you would have to tell everyone. You would have to announce to everyone that there was something suspicious going on here, that there was something to call into question. You would have to bring that information. Yeah, nobody would know. Just win the game.
It would be an internal strife. It's not like Isaiah Thomas at the Lakers in was it 89? One of those years, because the Pistons should have 3 titles. Something happened with a rebound. Oh my god, I forgot it. I forget.
I'm not in sports mode tonight. I don't have it.
Yeah.
Actually, this last thing I'm saying on Swig and Move, I've had one of my boys tell me, Coach, I touched it, and we'd be like, yeah. So, but he wasn't telling me like, Coach, I touched it. What did we do? He was just like, Coach, I touched that. Like that was mine.
Criminal.
Yeah, bro.
Did you guys win that game? I hope you lost.
We were one of the top teams in the state, but that's another conversation.
Let's have the conversation about Blood and Bone.
Woo! Should I start with the Tommy Adeyemi? Adeyemi.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm sharing the wrong screen. My mistake. There. Talk to me.
Are you ready to meet the cast of Children of Blood and Bone? Your Mama Akba.
Viola.
Your King Saran.
Chiatel.
Your Queen Nahanda.
Regina.
Your Admiral Kaya.
Cynthia Erivo.
The Khan, the Centauro.
Idris Elba.
And Zaylee's mama.
Lashana Lynch.
Your Prince Anan.
Damson Idris.
Your Princess Amari.
Amandla Stenberg.
Your brother Zane.
Tosin Cole,
Fire.
Your
The male
fearless
cast in this is crazy.
Thuso Mbedo.
See you in IMAX and theaters.
That is a phenomenal
Crazy
black
cast.
cast.
Crazy
That
cast.
is some beautiful black talent.
Crazy.
That's beautiful. Gorgeous.
You
Love
ready
to see
hear
it.
my critiques? You want to hear my critiques?
Whoa,
All
we're
right.
not critiques yet. We're like 1 minute into this thing. Let's
I was-
celebrate the
I know, I
cast,
want to say how
baby.
beautiful it was before I, got to my
Listen, we complain about all of this stuff. What we don't get, we're getting it. We're getting it in IMAX also, which is what she said at the end. I'll see you in IMAX and in theaters. The last time we had an IMAX movie, Wakanda Forever, maybe, which was like a black cast, and we already know our problems with that movie, right? But the last time we had IMAX, we had a production value of this level, I think. I heard She Dreads Me talking about how a lot of the actors took pay cuts to be part of this. Salute to them. I hope Megan Good can take a pay cut also to find her way into this. I'm just selecting an actress. She was on my mind, but like anyone, literally any actor who's just got that month off while they're shooting this can be like, I can be on set. I can be in the crowd and do a reaction shot. Let me be part of this movie. I don't want to not be part of this movie. I hope like a lot of the other actors kind of come in and join it and treat it like the celebration it's supposed to be. It's amazing that I've complained, especially when Professor Snape was race swapped. I was like, guys, just find a novel, find an author, and just elevate their book, because there's no reason why Harry Potter can only do it like a Lord of the Rings. You can find it. Paramount did it. Actually Lucasfilm had the rights to this IP, but they were taking too long. And Tommy Adeyemi, she said, nope, I'm going to go somewhere else. And there was a bidding war that she won. Guys, there was a bidding war for a black-owned IP. That's crazy. Her success, it says #1 New York Times best-selling author. Her success is translating to different mediums. And, there's a market for book reading. There's a bigger market for movies. And the lives that this is going to touch, like this world that the first page. Can you guys big screen me? This world that she's drawn up. You can see Legos up there.
How you do that?
I'll do it. There, I found it.
Oh, there we go.
Lagos is on the map over there. So that's the only Nigerian city I know about. But that's like when we open up with the book, that's what they introduce us to. This world kind of reminds me of Westeros, except this continent or this land kind of looks like Africa if you look at it, right?
Yeah.
There's the Horn of Africa, the Somalia horn of it. It kind of looks like Africa. So that's cool that she put this thought into it. And I want to be introduced to all of these places in the Yoruba or the Orisha. The Orisha are the pantheon of gods, I believe. The deities.
Yeah, see, I haven't read this book yet. I don't know anything about the IP yet. And so I'm seeing a lot of similarities to other. I guess I'm just going to go ahead and run with the not even negatives. It's just things that I wish didn't coincide with this. So there's similarities to other projects that had either already graced the screen, or were in production to be made before some unfortunate events happened. And it seems like Blood and Bone kind of rearranged themselves ahead. So to kind of explain what I'm talking about, Lovecraft Country, the second season of Lovecraft Country with Misha Green, Jonathan Majors,
Journey Smoulier.
Yep. So the second season of that was supposed to follow something of like that first page that you showed of the nation, how it was broken up. It was going to kind of mirror something similar for that, like in the US, right? Season 2, that's what was supposed to be from Lovecraft Country. Another one is David Walker's Bitterroot, right? Bitterroot is something that feels like it's eerily similar to what we're doing right now. I don't know if it deals with the like a totally black nation the same way that they're showing, but in terms of the setup, like again, in Bitterroot, which is a production that Ryan Coogler was supposed to be doing. I don't know where the Sinners thing came from, but he was supposed to be
Regina
doing
King.
Regina King was going to star as the matriarch of the family. I can't think of her name right now, but she has a similar role in this. So that kind of tells me that that one's not going to happen, which is disappointing because I've actually read the David Walker books. I haven't read this one. The graphic
I read the
novel.
first issue and I hated it.
Bitterroot?
Yeah, with they're in Harlem and there's the police who like confront them, and yeah, it wasn't for me. The Sangre family.
Yeah, man, you gotta read past the first issue. But in any case, if you didn't like it, you didn't like it. But it's the same kind of concept. And so I don't think that is going to. This is probably it. Like this is the one that made it out. Like David Walker's Bitterroot's probably not ever going to see the light of day now. I don't see them recreating the same character with some of these characters in that similar of an IP with an all-black cast. Same thing with Misha Green's second season of Lovecraft Country. That's probably done forever. So while I'm happy that this one gets out, and I'm very excited to see it, there were projects prior to this one that followed the same path that just never got to fruition. So it's a little disappointing knowing that they're probably never going to see the light of day.
Mm-hmm.
See, I didn't know we were going to jump into the negative. So which I haven't seen it. I'm on the same side as Marcus. I haven't seen it. I haven't read the book or anything yet. So this is new to me. I'm quite interested in it. Of course, that cast is phenomenal. So that obviously that is the piqued my interest the most in everything. But I will agree with what I'm seeing Critical Mass say. I don't know anything about it, but that is the biggest thing that I've seen on Twitter is the criticism of Amanda Steinberg as the princess, I guess, in this because of the colorism. People saying that Hollywood does it again, cast a light-skinned actress as a dark-skinned character. Again, I don't know anything about the book. I'm just saying what is out there.
So does the character's skin cut, like their complexion, play a role in how the character was built up, I guess? I mean, I'm asking chat since we haven't seen it. Does her skin color play a role in how the character is built up? Is it an integral
Critical
part
Mass says, I've read the books. There is an issue with the casting. Or there are issues with the casting.
Well, like I don't think I would take it simply at face value that like, oh well, the character's supposed to be dark skinned and she's light skinned, she can't do it. I wouldn't take it at that. But if you're telling me that there was some arc where her complexion played, a part for her to mature or grow out of, or it was a point of strife, a hardship that she had with somebody, it actually played a role in who the character is, then yeah, that would probably upset me, being a reader of the book.
Here's an excerpt. Samara, mother's voice breaks into my thoughts, pulling my focus back. Have I mentioned how regal you look today? I bite my tongue and drain the rest of my tea. Though mother says regal, the word lighter hides behind her lips. Like the regal Oles who can proudly trace their lineage back to the royal families who first wore Orisha's crown. So regal and light, it was a dog whistle term. Here's another page.
Constant. Oh, okay. We got two excerpts.
Here's another page. As I peek at Samara from behind my cup, I'm struck by her now soft brown complexion. It was only a few luncheons ago she shared her mother's mahogany coloring. You are too kind, Your Majesty. Samara looks down at her dress in false modesty, smoothing non-existent wrinkles. You must share your beauty regimen with Amari. Amari, by the way, is the name of the Amanda's character, okay? Princess Amari. You must share your beauty regimen with Amari. Mother places a cold hand on my shoulder, fingers light against my dark copper skin. She lounges in the garden so often, she's beginning to look like a farmhand. So what do you think to that then? Does that address what you were talking about right before?
So, and again, I haven't read the book, so I don't know. This is a little out of context. If this is something that's constant, like if she's treated like the redhead stepchild of whatever royal family she's in or something like that because of her skin tone, that does kind of change the entire complexity of the character or the dynamic of the character if you make her a light-skinned person. If it's something that's just kind of lightly mentioned in certain parts of the book, I guess you can flip it on its head. Right, if this is a all-black country, maybe they're now mocking her because she is light of skin instead of darker skin. You could change it that way. I guess it's easier to just cast a dark-skinned person. I don't know if Mandela couldn't play a different character in the production as opposed to this one, but I'd have to kind of defer to someone who knows more about the character to say for sure.
It sounds like Samara, that woman that we were just reading about. Amanda could have played that character, would have been more accurate, but maybe the role was smaller. We have to also remember this movie probably isn't made without the superstar cast right here. So there's some liberties are going to be taken.
Part of it, and then also recognizability, right? Like when Amanda steps into Wakanda, Black Panther, even though it hadn't been put on the big screen at that point, it's easily more recognizable than this. So you would have a little bit more information to go off of to kind of gauge yourself and where you line up in that production, as opposed to this. You have nothing to go off of. Like, this will be the first iteration, and she hasn't scraped through the books before she accepted this role. Are you expecting her to kind of divvy it out the way that she did for Black Panther?
Shuri. She was supposed to be Shuri, and she said no to it. And there's a Vanity Fair article. Critical Mass says, yes, Marcus, her skin is darker than her mother's, and her mother disses her about it. Bro, I'm telling you, I read the book. I believe you, Critical Mass. I don't know why Marcus is discrediting your experience. Like, if you said
I ain't discrediting no. I'm saying, if that's the case, then yeah, this is a bad casting. It's a bad casting.
It's an inaccurate casting.
Well, that's why I'm just saying I can't comment on it outside of what I've seen the people that have read the book say. I have not. If she's supposed to be dark-skinned, I guess it goes to the same complaints we give about the rumors of them casting a light-skinned T'Challa. Why? If it is not accurate to the character's origin.
Well, a light-skinned T'Challa is impossible. Like Nigeria is far away north from the equator of where Wakanda is supposed to be, where I can see a little bit of variation, or a lot more variation in skin lightness.
Yes, but is she light in the book?
She's not light in the book, and therefore it's inaccurate, and we agree, all three of us go there. I want to add, though, I don't want to see a traumatic theme of colorism played out on my screen. I don't want themes of trauma and slavery. Colorism is another one. So if that means that this movie won't have that undertone or undercurrent of the book, that mom keeps making fun of her skin, then I'm going, fine. Like, that, this is actually a good thing to come out of this inaccurate casting. There is a good thing that comes from it. Now, you can still tell me, Chillmonger, shut up. They can get a dark-skinned character to play Amari, and they can not show the themes of colorism in this movie. And I would say that is the best case scenario. But I'm not going to get stupid little colorism being enforced and furthered through this movie, and that's an awesome thing to me. Silver lining.
I mean, I guess it's one less point of conflict that we have to deal with. But I guess, so let me pose this question to you. Where then do you cause, or do you show conflict on a social level when all the characters are Black? Like, where else does that, what's the acceptable amount of conflict? What's the acceptable amount of real world, stuff to implant into the movie?
The question implies there needs to be real world social commentary, conflict that are.
None. Yeah, so none. Okay. I mean, I guess I don't know anything about this book.
Yeah.
But if there are tenets in this story, in this plot, that are real, that connect back to the real lives of Black people, I would expect to see that come forth in the show as well, or excuse me, in the movie as well. So I guess I just don't know enough about the story itself to know whether or not that's going to play a role at all. But most of the good Black productions I ever seen had some sort of social commentary in there. We are Black, you know what I'm saying? It's something in there.
It's about returning magic back, so I'm sure there's a allegory somewhere else in there that is not propagating colorism. Even if they're trying to make it seem like she's the victim and we should be sympathetic towards it and we should be against it, just putting it in the movie is like too much. Let's not represent that theme. To me, escapism is powerful. It kind of brings us back to the Sam Wilson coloring book thing. Illustration book. I don't want to talk about that though. The next kind of controversial thing is, are they hiring Nigerian actors? This is a Nigerian story. The actors are from all over. Aside from Damson Idris, everyone else is either American born or some.
No, these are all Black Brits except for Viola Davis and Regina. Everybody else is a Black Brit, brother.
Thuso is from
Oh,
South
and Amandala.
Africa.
Excuse me, and Amandala.
Thuso is from South Africa. And is
But
Issa Rae in this?
he's
She's from Senegal.
British, right? You said
Issa Rae's not in it.
Who are we talking about?
I keep talking when you're talking. Go ahead.
Who's from South Africa? I didn't hear you.
Thuso Mbedo.
Okay, I don't know who that is. Which guy is
Woman
that?
King. She was the lead.
Ah, okay.
She plays Zaylee.
Oh, yes, the little girl. Okay, got you. She's from South Africa. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah,
Anything Viola is in, I support her. She is phenomenal in everything.
And how do we know her lineage doesn't?
I'm sorry, except for that Michelle Obama thing. That was tough.
So wait, it's important for you in this production for there to be Nigerian actors?
No.
Okay.
Not my
I
stance.
just wanted to make sure.
It is the next dramatic kind of negative, since we're in the negatives, that here they go again, Hollywood. And I would tell those people, does this film get made without this cast? No. I get it, and I understand the problem. In a perfect world, we get these top A-list Nigerian actors to play it. There are no A-list Nigerian actors. They're Damson Idris, and John Boyega, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, I wasn't taking it from that angle, but I also don't feel the need to match ethnicity in that way, because that's just not the way that things are currently going with Black projects in Hollywood. Who played Harriet Tubman?
Cynthia Erivo.
Who played Martin Luther King?
Who?
What's his name?
Your boy, who they also said was being eyed for T'Challa and turned it down.
Bensley King Adir. Aaron Pierre.
Name? He was in shit.
Oh gosh.
He was in Jack Reacher. He was in
David Oyelowo.
There you go. David.
Yeah.
David
Oyelowo. Well, Oyelowo. I named a pilot after him because he was a pilot in Red Tails. So in my
is his wife white? His wife is white, isn't
Bro.
she? I'm pretty sure she is.
I mean, she probably
I'm pretty
is.
sure she is.
That's not my point, though.
I think she is.
Is that if it's not a requirement for you to be of African American descent for you to play Martin Luther King, I think anybody can play these characters as well.
And then I would tell the Nigerians who were pissed, the transatlantic slave trade was a long time ago, and the part of the world where many of these Americans are descendant of is the same region that you're complaining they're not from. So it's enough to me to go same part of the world. And like Nigeria, or like, let me say this, a remnants of the colonialism are these countries and these borders and these lines and stuff like that. I'm good and I go, oh, that's a West African, even if they're American born with American grandparents, like for the next 8-9 generations. I still ethnically recognize you as home to there. Like you guys have a great 11 times over a great grandparent that you share, and you're Nigerian, but they're an American. It's a complaint I have to recognize. I hear it. I'm sure they'll fill out the rest of the cast with locals. And maybe once the sequel, because there are 3 books in this trilogy, the Legacy of Orisha trilogy. There's 3 books, and I just dropped something. I dropped my DeMar DeRozan book. The sequels, they could look for a Nigerian actor to, whoever's that new actor who's in the book, new character who's in the book. They can start getting creative with it because they don't no longer need the star power to sell this movie.
And then also, I mean, like the star roles or the speaking roles aren't the only roles in a movie like this. If we're trying to create a nation full of Black people, there are plenty of places for you to hire extras, for you to hire, grips and stuff like that of actual Nigerians. If that's what you're going for, it's not that hard to do. And the only way that you can serve, or there's not only one way to serve that either. Like a starring role is not the only way to represent Nigeria in this movie, if that's what you're seeking to do. If you're really worried about it, if you care, then it would come through in other aspects of the film, not just in the actual physical representation of a Nigerian person.
You sound like Disney.
I don't sound like Disney. There's more to Nigeria than just a person who's from Nigeria. What if they find a white Nigerian? Then Nigerian is represented, huh?
That sounds like Disney.
Yeah, that's Disney. I'm saying, if it's that important to you, then it shouldn't be superficial. It shouldn't be, okay, box checked, we have a person from Nigeria. You should incorporate aspects of that culture into what you show on screen, the areas that you shoot in. Go shoot in Nigeria. I'm sure you'll get a nice hefty tax credit for doing it in a foreign country. You know what I'm saying? Like,
they're filming in South Africa.
You. But I mean, that's just cool. It's no longer, well, I mean, it's kind of still, but technically not an apartheid state.
I was watching a video of white South African colonizers say how. No, this was an old video from like the 1950s. Say why the South Africans should get should be able to participate in some of the buildings and building that they were doing and things like that, or benefit from some. I was like, it was two white people talking about, one defending why and one going. I was like, look at the two. Well, I don't want to say what I said out, but it was an interesting video to watch. I was like, this is fascinating.
He said the muskrat. What does that mean?
I say Elon.
You know that in the Black Panther animated series, they made him have a white brother named Hunter, but I think he was already in the comic book.
Yeah, that's the thing. The White Wolf.
If this movie takes off, this and all of the tickets Dramac pledged to buy, help this movie take off, it'll be great. If it doesn't, I'm going to look at that January 2027 release. If it's coming in January 15th of that year, yeah, great. IMAX screenings, that's awesome. What if people don't go and see it? On the opposite side of that, February in 2018 is when we had Black Panther. It did so well, and since it was freaking February, there was no competition coming out for that movie. I think Deadpool 2 came out a little bit later, but other than that, there was really no competition. And that is big competition. But other than that, there was nothing else because it was the month of February. Nothing comes out in February. January is even better. Nothing new will come out. You're competing against a month-old movie that came out in Christmas, which would be whatever Star Wars movie it is supposed to be. I don't know. Or Inside Out 2, I think. Or 3. Or Ice Age 6. That's what you're going to be dealing with. And then here you come on January 15. You got all the IMAX screens with nothing afterwards. If this is a hit, it will be a hit for a long time. If this becomes a destination movement, then we'll be in a very good position. We could have $1 billion hitter, maybe.
I like that it's going in January, actually, opposed to the Black History Month February release, because it tells me that they have confidence in this movie beyond the Black audience.
That's not what that tells me.
In January instead of Black History Month?
When's the last time a big January movie came out that was like white?
No, that's not what I'm looking at.
Okay.
If they released it during Black History Month, the same way that they're doing Brave New World with Sam Wilson, that would tell me everything that I need to know about their confidence in the movie. They want the timing of the movie to carry it, right? They want the social association to the movie to carry it. If there is no social association, if there is no, hey, Black people come out and watch a movie month like Black History, and you still have the confidence to release it in the middle of that month, whether it has competition or not, they're putting it out at a time that's not built for the Black movie. All right, like Black Panther released in on February. This new what's it called movie? The new
Brave New World.
Brave New World. They released Wakanda Forever right around the holidays as well. those movies are sandwiched in on times when Black people go see movies. First of the year, right after Christmas, right after New Year's, that is not usually a popular time to go spend a whole bunch of frivolous money. So if your movie has legs in January at the start of the new year, that's a good film.
Well, the legs are going to be in February. 2 weeks after January 15, you're in the month of February.
What is going to be their biggest chunk of the draw? It's going to be during the opening, right? The legs
first 5 days
grow. Yeah.
First 5 days of a movie's box office gross are always half of what it eventually does.
So we're not paying attention to the November weeks because that's not what we're trying to maximize. We're trying to maximize a big opening.
Gotcha.
And conventional wisdom would tell you, oh, just go to Black History Month. Black people will eat it up. So if they're not doing that, that tells me that they have confidence in the audience beyond the Black audience.
Well, then why not May or June? Well, we could say that the IMAX screens are taking.
Yeah, we still got time for it to get pushed back or reorganized.
Ooh, that'd be interesting if it does so well and they see the movies and they see the dailies. The producer sees what he has on it, and he goes, "No, this is not a January release. We better fight whatever studio has those IMAX screens in July. We got to take the July and." Paramount paid.
Even though a lot of these actors took cuts to be in this production, this is not a cheap production. This is not going to be a cheap production. It's science fiction, and they have every Black actor whose name we know in the movie.
Time out. This is about her returning the magic. So for much of the movie, there won't be magic in their homeland. So it could be cheap.
There will still be aspects of it that are, adventurous enough. It's a science fiction concept.
Yeah, they're going to have to capture the audience in some type of. I mean, I haven't read the book, but if it's science fiction, I would assume there's going to be science fiction aspects.
They'll do something. I don't even know where I was going with that.
Because I timed you out.
Yeah. I don't know. We'll see when it happens. If it does get rearranged to a June, July type of release, I think that bodes well, man. Like, they're going to have a bigger budget for this in terms of production because of who they're shooting with, and it's a new IP. I guess the marketing will tell a lot. The marketing will tell us a lot about where this stands at the studio.
You know how I'm marketing it? I'm saying, I bet you Critical Drinker's not going to review this movie, huh? He had so much to say about 6888, not this one, huh? He had so much to say about Woman King, huh? Where is that? You get all the tweets. Easy.
The woke fest of Children of the Boon. Oh, no, that's Irish. He's not Irish.
I'll take it. I'll take it.
Scottish.
Scottish.
See you in another life, brother. If the actors maybe have a deal where they can get a bonus or a back end, if the movie grosses X amount, then all the pay cut actors are entitled to, for every extra million, they get 1,000 or something like that. I would hope that was sort of like why they took it. They'll say, fine, we know we'll get only paid like a hot dog and a handshake to do the movie, but then if it's successful, we are entitled to a little bit on the back end. K.O.Joe said it's definitely fantasy. Yeah,
it's not as much science fiction; it's more fantasy. Which even still, if that's the gist of the story, I do expect to see some kind of teaser. If it's nothing but a flashback of when the magic was there.
I want to field this question, but I'll answer it next. Now, one of you guys can take it. He says, "Who gives a shish how much money it makes?" Talking about movies this way takes power away from creative. Look at the films that came out in '94 and imagine talking this way about them. So who cares about how much money it makes, Darius?
Because, different times too. Money changes, audience changes, pricing of things have changed, the demand of things have changed. What it costs to see a movie in '94 is not what it costs to see a movie now. It costs me personally, $20 to see a movie. And that's just me alone. I haven't bought popcorn or anything else like that. So there's a lot more that goes into that. So talking about why doesn't, what makes money, it's not so much that we're talking about, it's that does matter. Hollywood's looking at that. The production companies are looking at that. The studios are looking at that. Like if your film,
it's a Black production.
If your film's not making money, they're going to be like, oh, okay, next project. And
they're going to go through that budget with a fine-tooth comb. Every dollar will be accounted for. You ain't gonna be able to wipe your butt without getting an invoice.
Like most things I see differently with aggressively relaxing, it's racial. It's like the money that it makes allows for other black movies to claim. You see the stigma about we don't sell internationally, like that's all. And then even this getting a trilogy and a sequel and a trilogy relies on the money that it makes. And we're giving a shout out to the actors who took a pay cut. Also, the money is pivotal to this conversation, just for the racial reasons only. I'm not over here saying like it's going to be a bad movie adaptation. Like that's a different conversation we can have. Which, by the way, everyone, how closely adapted to this book does it need to be? I already got the author who's part of this. Yeah, the castings are wrong. Yes, the ages of some of these characters are off. But again, I have to remember that this movie doesn't happen without these castings. It doesn't get greenlit. Paramount doesn't pick it up. Or like, I need, as much as I need accuracy, I understand this is an adaptation and it doesn't have to be one for one. Harry Potter wasn't one for one either. If it can
I think having the writer involved gives me confidence that whatever changes are made will be subtle or will be smooth enough that it shouldn't affect the audience. Now, if she comes into this and she makes changes that are so off-putting to the audience, that's pretty concerning for the future of the franchise, because then that tells me you may have a problem adapting to the big screen, because you should be able to please your audience, right? And if she's that headstrong about, not going with certain studios, she's willing to walk away, say no, wait for a better deal to come back around, then she's not a pushover, right? And so I can trust that she's protective over her story.
If she was a pushover, this would still be in purgatory with Lucasfilm.
Exactly.
She's not a pushover. She knew that this is a best-selling book.
Mm-hmm. And so that lets me know that, again, she'll protect her IP. She'll write something that's coherent, at least. I guess the benefit for guys like me and Darius and even Chill right now at the moment is that there is no level of expectation, right? There's no expectations built on it, and that's what it is for a lot of fans. So she'll have an easy run of it, I think, in that regard, in terms of accuracy to canon, because it won't be known. It won't be known to a lot of people. A lot of people, similarly to what they did with Black Panther, will build their knowledge of the IP based off of this introduction. So it won't be hard. It'll be the hardcore fans that'll probably bring her to task for it, but I think she's smart enough to know how to please those fans at the same time.
It's her story. She's not going to bastardize it. I know she won't. She'll make differences because this is the movie and it's a book, which is kind of what George R.R. Martin said in that famous quote. They'll tell you it's the movie, that's why it's got to be different, and then they'll, change things. But this is the author herself doing the changes, so it's for good reason, or it's for appropriate reasons that we can justify. Like I keep justifying, the cast needs to be these stars, or else they need to be not Nigerian, or else it wouldn't be made. It wouldn't get the attention on this stream right now, and every other person who's talking about it wouldn't be talking about it without Viola Davis, who's not Nigerian, or Tosin Cole, my boy from Supercell, who his star power after 3 seasons is going to be a lot, because 2027, that's when this movie comes out. 3 seasons of Supercell, he'll be bigger than what he is now. Damson Idris may have a movie here or there to raise his star power also. Amanda Stenberg could be doing a project next year that I don't know about. She already has the Acolyte rub. She'll be a bigger deal. There's the growth of some of these actors. The potential for this movie, we already love the cast. It could be even bigger. You never know. I don't see Idris Elba's star power running out of shine. Lashana Lynch can only get bigger. Cynthia Erivo, they just got her straight out of Wicked, and everyone's loving her, and they've all seen her as a
tie her up. Tie her up as the general. Make sure she's nice and busy for the next decade or so. Tie her up. Give her obligations.
Liam gives her Nigeria credit.
Okay. All right.
Y'all heard of Bruno Mars and Sexy Red? Yeah, I believe there was an Instagram exchange, and they're going to do a song together, maybe.
That man's debt's got to be out of control.
As long as it doesn't turn into Borderlands or Artemis Fowl.
I forgot all about Artemis Fowl.
The first 2 books and very easily translated into movies. The third, I don't know. Listen, it doesn't got to be a accurate adaptation of the books. So she could make whatever problems are with the third book a proper movie. They could divide it into 2 movies. This one's 525 pages long, and that, that's a lot of. It's a lot. You could, if the next books are also 500 pages, you can make 5 movies out of this. I'm saying. We go to another super chat.
That I will retire with the ring, and I will retire with the crown. Yes, no, I'm not lucky, I'm blessed.
These matchups are crazy.
Did that give you the?
When you're thinking about these videos,
you know what they do with the books into films? You know what they do with books into films? Combine them and release them as one film. Not here. Tomi Adeyemi is not going to let that happen. They asked her about what you got planned next. She says, "Oh, I can't say NDA." She's joked around like that in interviews. She's doing one movie based off of one book, and there will be future with this book. There will be future movies and future trilogy, maybe even a TV show expanding on this world. She's not one of those people who is going to let them bastardize it. She's very involved in the process. Bestseller. Good night, everyone. Well, thanks for coming to another Pantheon episode.
Yeah, wrap it up. Wrap it up, folks. It's getting a little late. Yeah, very excited to see that, though. So let us know what you guys think.
Yeah, it looks like, again, I don't know anything about it, but I'll have to do some research. It does look interesting. Yeah. The cast looks great. So you had me with Viola Davis.
Viola, Regina, the male castings is something that's what I wanted to get to. That's a positive. I don't think you'll see that again this decade. Damson Idris Alba, Tosin Cole. Now, in the next 5 or so years, obviously Idris has already got his name set in stone. Those other 2 names I expect to grow exponentially. So the fact that all 3 of them are in a movie together will be something like, it'll be something like how they had like Clooney, Pitt, Damon all in the same movie in the Ocean's movies. That's what we're approaching. It may not feel like that when it first comes out. Hindsight will show us that that's what that is. Because I mean, those are 3 of the biggest names. Tosin is on the rise. Damson is next up. Idris Alba is an elder statesman. So you just don't get that, and I think it will be one of the only ones here in the recent future.
Not just because of their talents and what they'll do with the roles, but when we're talking promotion, we've got people who are based in England. We've got people who are based in the United States, and so many cast members are part of this that you'll be doing a well job of not overworking your lead actor. You'll have this big ensemble, and they'll touch on every podcast they need to, every streamer. Like I can see Amanda Listenberg on Kaisa not stream doing the dances all with him. Like, yeah, we won't be bored with her discourse. We'll be listening to Amanda promote her movie alongside do so, and they'll be on the couch with Jimmy Fallon also, the traditional ways. But like Cynthia Erivo's she's got a brand and a following with her. She's gonna storm in and take all of the.
Please stop. I think it's underrated, Danny. I think that there is a thirst out there for unseen content for exactly what's being brought with Children of the Bone, right? Like there's an oversaturation for a certain type of content that's being marketed to Black people. This is that difference, that kind of monkey wrench into the machine. I think it'll be very popular. Similarly to how Black people have gravitated towards anime here in recent years. More and more Black people are being outwardly positive about anime. I think they've always kind of liked it to a certain degree. with Dragon Ball Z and Gundam and all of that stuff that we used to watch in the 90s. But now it's an outward love, right? Like you see people that you wouldn't think, but they know who Eren Yeager is. They know who One Punch is. They know who Luffy is. You know, they know these guys.
People like
So
Meg the
Megan Thee
Stallion. Yeah, people like
Meg,
Meg.
yeah. Kasegu, Makena, Atare Waska, Kasegu, Atashi Waska. You know what I'm saying? Like you have black female rappers rapping about anime in their albums. I think we've crossed the barrier. So
he know who I be. Ain't got to say my name. Stack it up like Tetris, but this money ain't a game.
Don't know worse.
I just listened to the new Red. I really like the beat. Was that the one that has Bruno Mars already? It's already come out?
We don't play it on here. We don't want to get the stream monetized.
We're out, everyone. Thanks for coming. Cole was wasted on Doctor Who Wasted. That's not happening. Chill. It will happen. You'll see. This will be everything that I said. I don't even remember what you're disagreeing with me. Lawrence Report. Salute to you, Lawrence Report. I can tell Danny Walsh I have never watched Lord of the Rings or Game of Thrones. Well, a girl made me watch a scene from Lord of the Rings. Kind of fantasy is not my jam. I've read Harry Potter, and I've been looking for something like this. And I'm glad to own this. I'm glad that my money went to Tomi Adeyemi, and I'm doing this on stream and possibly encouraging others to do the same. I know I'm going to be doing a panel with other book readers. Don't know when. I got to finish reading this. Me and Mark Eightail Blurred were talking about doing that, and you can look out for that on my YouTube channel. Mo Flies in the building. He says, yeah, anime was taboo back in the day. Not anymore, bro. And
not anymore. Yeah, not anymore.
Maybe it was taboo to anyone older. Like if that kid who's 5 years older than you living next door, you know, it would be embarrassing if you told them you like Sailor Moon. But like all of us like Sailor Moon. Even Michael, Danny. Michael? Who's Michael?
I was not a Sailor Moon fan.
Oh, you didn't watch Sailor Moon?
If there was nothing else on, I might have left
it
it
was
on.
Always the show you had to watch to get to Dragon Ball Z and Gundam. They came on first.
But see, I liked Dragon Ball.
Yeah, but you had to watch. You got to watch a little bit of Sailor Moon to get to Dragon Ball and get to Gundam. You just have.
You're talking about through the programming of the. Yeah.
The first show at 7:00 was Sailor Moon.
Yeah.
In the skirts.
Will you ever watch Naruto like Raymond said?
I don't know. I have someone close to me that watches anime, and it is constantly on in the background, and it is. I feel like it's One Piece right now. So there's shit I know by default, just from hearing it. I don't know. Anime it's interesting, I guess. I mean, I would have to really try to sit and get into it because Naruto is one that is constantly on in the background too. Naruto, Boruto, all those people. Yeah, I hear that shit all the time. These little inner monologues that they have before they strike someone. Like, yeah, I hear this shit all the time.
Funny. I think this is because it's so different from American storytelling, right? Like they almost over explain, and I think it has something to do.
Oh my god, yes.
It has something to do with the government. I
was cleaning the kitchen and it was just on, and I swear I'm like, did this motherfucker explain his attack the whole time I was cleaning the kitchen?
Yeah, it's why they take 3 or 4 episodes to get through an arc because they spend the whole time explaining it.
One, they're adapting things from a manga where all that explaining and all that time is nothing. And the second thing is that animations are expensive. So if they can just show you a picture of the character like this and like the camera will move, but it's really just them and maybe their lips moving. That's why they fill it in the episode's length because of that. This person who you mentioned is watching anime. Is it like someone who will be in your? No. Let me not get personal. I'll say it like this. Watch with, okay? Start from the beginning. And watch
sometimes I have no choice. It's just on the TV. Yeah. And I'm just like, oh God. But like, again, it's for me, I watched like maybe 2 full episodes of Naruto. Couldn't tell you what
when did you start,
episodes.
though?
I just was there. I don't know.
You need to see this in order. This isn't a comic book. This is everything that mattered in the past. You will watch everyone who knows Might to Guy.
Tough.
We were watching Rock Lee open the 5th gate, and we're like, oh, he made it up to 5 gates. What does that mean? What does it mean when you make the 8th gate? We don't find out about the 8th gate until 700 episodes later, and 600 episodes later.
There's 700 episodes of Naruto?
A lot of it is filler. With a filler guide, it's not really 700.
Brother, there's a lot. There's a lot of these One Piece episodes too.
Yeah, that's why I've already reserved myself to never watching One Piece. There's just too much.
Yeah,
they're reanimating it. My point is that we finally learn about the 8th gate at a time we didn't even think about it. And the character who unlocks the 8th gate, Plant Poppy, becomes the best character in Naruto, and he wasn't even in the top 10 when we started this show. An episode earlier, at episode 418, you're not thinking about Guy Sensei. At 421, you renamed the show Guy Sensei for what he was able to do.
Yeah, man.
My official recommendation is Attack on Titan. I think that is a great introduction to anime for a layman. It's a very, very easy story to grasp. It has enough content for you to watch for a good amount of time. It's an epic kind of saga. Follows the lines more so of like I can't really give you an American comparison, but it's a good saga story.
Avatar?
Maybe, but like Aang was never the bad guy, so like it's hard to do a 1-to-1.
Give me 26 episodes of a contained story and I'm good. I think Death Note is another one of those. Not 26, maybe more. Yeah. Attack on Titan might have been 50 episodes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I've heard Attack on Titan just because like I said, I'm around anime people. Attack on Titan, Bleach, all those.
Find one of these anime people, whoever they are to you, just find them, let them sit you down and begin it with Naruto. If you can, I'm just saying, depending on who this person is. If you got a kid, you start with Naruto.
Yeah, it's just like I said. The episode I saw, some dude in like a gray trench coat,
the Akatsuki,
whatever. I think so. Yeah, I think that's him. This motherfucker was in his head that entire episode. Was just like, oh, how did he know? Is it my power? I'm just like, can we get to that? I think that was my thing. I was like, damn, no one has struck anyone in the 28 minutes we've been sitting here. I'm like, Jesus, it's just. But hey, I don't know what episode that was. It might have been like 400. I don't know. But
were there bugs in the episode? That's Shino.
I don't think there were bugs.
A gray cloak.
There's a lot of episodes with that big mom girl, the pirate queen, pirate king. Oh, that's One Piece. Sorry, I get them confused.
Yo, shout out to your friend who's introducing anime to you, or whoever it is introducing anime to you. Marcus, any last words?
No, that's it for me, man. Thanks, folks. Watch me on Back of the Bus this Sunday around 4 o'clock. I'm going live. Tune in. Tap in with me.
You
streaming in the daytime, Darius?
Yes, I've been working on my layout for my streams as far as like just everything, fixing some things, new intro, new
Happy
layout.
Birthday.
Yes, happy birthday. All of those things. So that's why I haven't been live to stream this week. I've been trying to get all that. And then, as you can hear, my children won't shut up. They're ready. But and then they're trying to get the rest of this fixed. But yeah, no, I'm ready for everybody to see the new layout. The new layout it's nice.
I'll be streaming tomorrow, talking about that Tony Weaver stuff, about the Sam Wilson book also. So look out for that on my channel. You want to join that one, Marcus? Or is it just going to be a solo chill?
You want me to come on there? Sure, absolutely. Yeah.
We'll talk. thank you for coming. That's another Pantheon.
Hey, I've been watching y'all every single time on Thursday and Friday because I swear to God, y'all switch up every now and then. But rock out. I'm fucking with it. I'm out.
Thank you, Josh.
Appreciate it.
I doubt.